and welcome to the Harbingers D&D campaign. Woo! We are so excited tonight for our campaign to continue and to get on with the adventure. So last session we had an awesome time. It was so good. So I'm very excited to continue. Okay. Quick announcements real quick. Um, so first off, we won't have Dane in here tonight, unfortunately. He's got some family matters to attend to tonight, and we are super excited for him. And yeah, so he won't be here tonight, but he will be back next time. On that note, actually, next week we will not have a regular Harbingers D&D session. So what we will have in lieu of it is our recap episode, where we are going to be recapping episodes 24 through 37, which is tonight's episode. So we'll be doing a big recap of it. We're going to keep that to a shorter episode. So it's not going to be as long as our stream nights. So that everyone can kind of get back up to the page and up to Steam or up to page as to where the Harbingers D&D campaign is tonight. So we are super excited about that, and yeah, just just ready for it. So next week will be our recap episode. It's also going to be a Q&A. So if you guys have any questions or any theories you guys want to pose to us next week, it will be awesome. We're going to do it live. You can actually talk to us you can talk to us real time in the stream too. But to ask us questions, direct questions, any thoughts, your theories of what's going to happen, um, and anything that you guys have, questions about D&D, questions about the campaign, about the players, the characters, whatnot. So just be prepared with your questions for next week, and we're super excited for that. And I believe that is all of the announcements that we have here today. And we're going to go ahead and get into the recap of last session with Megan kicking it off.
Hello. I am going to apologize in advance. I am still recovering from some kind of sickness, and there are random moments when my throat feels funny. So if I start coughing randomly, there's your warning. But anyway, last session. This one was fun. We had just found out the problem behind the Hamlet, why people were falling asleep and never waking up. We have gotten that solved, and we are on our way, making our way to the Varsay dynasty. We are leaving the Akasha kingdom. And as we are on our way to the next town, we come across a little kid who, if I remember correctly, was about 10 years old. And he just fell in front of our wagon. And so we're talking to him, trying to find out where he came from. Is he all right? We're trying to figure all of this out. And Nuri especially, she's gone into Mama Nuri mode, trying to figure out if this kid's okay, where did he come from, and all this. And Nuri and Dusty are taking care of the kid, while Douse and Amaris have their suspicions that there's something else going on. Douse stays in the wagon, and Amaris is just kind of pacing around it. And sorry. And we can hear noises, but we don't see anything. So to find out if there was anything in the direction that they heard noise, Amaris sent Shatter to see if it would hit anything. Well, it didn't hit anything, but instead startled the horses, and they took off running. And as they did, we notice there is someone hanging onto the side of the wagon, which we have come to the conclusion that it was this 10-year-old boy's older brother. So we were able to get the wagon back and march this young man right back to where it was, sit him down, and Nuri had quite the talk with them.
Mama Nuri!
Mama Nuri had such a talking with them. and like feeding them and trying to figure everything out. And it ends up getting to a point. Well, we do find out that they have been on their own for a long time, like 2 years, 5 years, a long time. Um, and so we have, and so we came to the conclusion to help them, help them get to the next town. So they join us. Um, we help them and take them with us to the next town. And as we are traveling, there are some pretty tender moments with these kids really softening up and opening up to Nuri. And Nuri is basically on the verge of wanting to adopt these kids. Like she wants to adopt these kids. And during these travels, these Amaris and Douse decided to help these kids so that they have some way of defense. And so they train them, have sparring matches with them, and just do what they can to get them ready for what could be out there because the world is a dangerous place. So we finally get to the next town, I do believe Lakemont. Is that where we are now?
You guys are in
Um,
Basin Wind.
we're in Basin Wind. Never mind. We are now in Basin Wind, and that is where we part ways. Nuri offers them a job for the Leodon Shipping Company and gets Amaris's consent with it. And Nuri tells these boys where to go, who to look for, how they can seek help. Um, and they have gone on their way, and that is where we ended last session.
Awesome. Thank you, Amar. Megan, oh my gosh. I've gotten so used to just calling you guys by your character names that at this point I'm like, you guys don't have real names anymore. You're just Dusty, Nori, and Amar. And now.
Oh, can't believe you. How would you like if I called you DM? How would you like it?
Tell
I'm
me
teasing.
DM the whole time.
I'm just teasing.
No, that'd be pretty funny though.
It would be funny.
Yeah, no, it's so funny. I was talking about Dane earlier with Sierra, and I think I accidentally called him Douse. I, it might not have been today, but I remember at some point it's like Douse. Wait, no, Dane. Anyways, Nori and Amaris maybe can be friends again. Yes, let's hope. Yeah. Oh gosh, the chat, guys. If anyone's reading the chat. So Lady Noir just said, I just realized what the session is just the party members that are family. Douse needs to hurry up and marry Dane. So Dane can
Yeah,
be super married too? Yes. And
he's
she's making
behind. Douse is behind. He's just too slow. That's the
be
problem.
part of the family, be related. There we go. Everyone here is related. Well, everyone in the party. Cousins. I think it's just cousins basically all around.
Cousins, and then
I think
Dusty is my nephew.
Ah,
Yeah,
I see, I
I'm
see.
her nephew. I mean, Dusty is her nephew. Yeah, that's how this works. Yeah, Dusty.
Yeah, yeah.
Ugh. Okay, I forgive you now for calling us by our characters' names. I do it
Okay.
too. So as it turns out,
There we go. See, thank you. I appreciate the forgiveness. All right. Well, without further ado, let's actually hop into playing the game. Everyone's ready. So, at the end, sorry, I'm loving the comments here. Anyways, the chat just casually breaks the DM. That's what it is. So at the end of last session, you guys saw the boys. It was Ryder and Charlie, I believe. Um, yeah, it was. I had to look back at my notes real quick. So it was Ryder and Charlie, and they walked off into town. And and you guys are up at the top of the hill. and Basin Wind is just below.
Well, after watching the boys walk off, trauma. I'm just kidding. Nori's going to look to Mars and Dusty. Should we go into town or not?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Could use some time to stock back up.
Okay, then let's go. Okay, Nuri's going to walk towards the town. Give a little time for the guys, the boys, to enter the town. You know, give them
Oh
some
yeah,
space.
they're pretty fast walkers, so they're already in the town at this point.
Okay, cool. So we'll go into town
Okay.
and look for specifically a place to buy horse feed or food, whatever horses eat on the road.
Okay.
Hey, I don't know.
It's gonna be important.
You may do so. As you guys enter into the town, you notice that this town has pretty high stone walls around it. And I'd say they're probably they're not like super high. They're probably about like 7, 8 feet tall. They don't have like places for people to stand on top of the walls. It's just a stone wall around it. But at each of like the 4 corners around this big city, the 4 main entrances, they just have a big archway built into it. So you guys are able to come in with your wagon. And as you you enter into this large town square. There's lots of people bustling around on these cobblestone streets. You hear the clacking of the hooves of your horses across the ground. You hear lots of chatter, lots of talking from people. You see women and men carrying baskets and holding the hands of children as they walk around getting food from the market. You see you see men carrying, and women, you see a mixture of all genders here, carrying like wood planks and logs over their shoulders together, off to where they're like building extensions onto this town. It's just this big bustling city. You actually see a cat um off like sitting on the edge of like a stone ledge like a stone bench that's been kind of placed throughout. That's just sitting on the very edge of it and it's just licking their paw. You notice that there's actually a tabaxi that's standing nearby it, and you see it just kind of lick its paw as it's looking at the cat, and then you just see it spit out and wipes its hand on its shirt and walks away from the cat. Um, you see just all sorts of different things happening around this town. You notice lots of different stalls that are selling various fruits and vegetables, potions, tools, just all sorts of different things. Roll perception, everyone.
Great, we get to see if we trust the digital dice this time.
Starting out the night.
26.
Okay.
26.
Dusty
I'm
got 26.
so disappointed in my roll. This is only a 19 on the die, and I'm disappointed because last time I only got natural 20s on perception checks. So
Oh my god.
Dusty's slacking today.
Not as perceptive as he could be. One off.
Next time.
Okay, so Dusty, you got 26. Sierra or Nuri, you got 21, and Amaris got 11 with a -1. So that's pretty impressive. So for having a negative modifier, you're like me, so good. I love it. Oh my gosh, I love you guys. I miss D&D. Ah, it's so good. Alrighty. Okay. So as you guys are kind of bustling around Amaris, this is all that you see for as of right now. You notice the cat. You notice all the people around you, all these market stalls. Nuri, you kind of feel like someone is watching you. And you kind of look off into a direction, and you see this old woman who's kind of like hunched over, wearing a little bit of like a like what to you looks like kind of like a moss woven cloak um over her, and she's just kind of leaned over, hunched over on a little, oh my gosh, what's the cane? That's the word. She has a little like cane in her hand. Oh, I wish it was Marilla. Sorry, Silver Dusk. Um, but you notice that she's got a basket in hand and she's looking at you very curiously. Um, and you do notice that her ears are pointed a little bit. And Dusty, you notice the lady as well. Yeah. Um, yeah, and she's not standing in the shadows. It's just more of like a shaded area because it's still daytime. But it's not like she's standing like in the shadows or anything. Like you notice that like there are some people that like as they walk past her, they're like, "Oh hey," and she just kind of waves at them with a little tiny wave as she's got like her arm hooked around the basket, and so it's like a little mini wave and a little toothy smile. And Dusty, you notice, so you see Nori kind of stiffen a little bit as she looks over in one direction. And you look off in that direction and you notice the same woman.
Hmm. What color of clothes is she wearing again?
You can't see
I don't
her
know.
clothing underneath this like moss woven cloak that she's wearing.
Okay. Now I understand you.
Pointed ears, so elf, but we didn't. Did we see anything on her cheeks?
No markings
No.
on her
Okay.
cheeks. She's has a hood down so you can see her face. She's not like hiding her face at all.
Does she have light blue skin?
No. She
Okay,
has,
she's just a normal elf.
yeah, kind of like but she looks very haggard, very old. So not quite like elf, if that makes sense.
Oh.
And it's not like her ears are like super pointed. They're just slightly pointed at the tip. So you can kind of assume maybe an old half elf or like, because it's not like quite elf.
Okay.
I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in them.
At this point, Douse comes over and mentions that he's going to head to the temple that's in this town so he can start learning a little bit more because he's going to be leveling up a level in cleric. So that is what Dane has told me Douse will be doing this session. So he will go do that.
Okay. Dusty just kind of nods to him. Okay, we'll come get you once you're done. And he will kind of turn back towards the old lady off in the distance until he saw Nuri's reaction first. So he's actually going to say, like, should we do something? He like leans over towards her. Should we do something about that? Or
I decided to dine on my
Ignore her. Well, we're fine. We're strangers. Big carriage. That's probably all it is. We should
Wait, ignore who?
are we gonna do the don't look now bit?
So at like 6 o'clock, there's an old lady watching us, maybe an old half elf. Don't look at her. She's a little creepy, but that's it.
You notice that she actually like starts to walk towards you guys, hobbling a little bit.
Oh, no, don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact. Nuri's like turning a little. She's like, don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact. Don't look at her. Don't. Just keep walking.
Amaris is just looking at you like, what?
Dusty's just gonna investigate the vegetable cart. He's just gonna we'll do that. He's like the horse's reins in his hand. He just kind of like, wow, it's pretty cool apples here. Wow, are they fresh? Farm fresh? Wow.
As you do so, she does get closer to you guys, and Nuri, it does seem like she's coming towards you. She's kind of hobbling over. And you notice that she comes. It looks like she's coming straight up to you, but when she's 5 feet away from you, she kind of twists a little bit and starts to walk past you. And as she's walking past, she kind of glances off at you and goes, "It's tough being trapped between two courts, isn't it?" And continues walking away.
Nuri literally just collapses on Amaris. She just falls onto her shoulder.
Whoa. Can Amaris back up a bit?
Nay, back up. Also,
Nuri falls to the ground.
Can I say I love Roxy Bird's comment? Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. I know where it's from, Roxy Bird.
Yeah, no one's suspicious here. Nuri falls over.
Yeah, so Nuri, you fall flat on your butt. As you do so, you actually notice a woman, a human woman, who kind of looks over at you strangely, and she goes, "Oh, do you need help? Are you all right?"
Oh, I'm okay. Just lost my balance. That's all. Thank you. Don't look at me. You can keep going. This is embarrassing.
Okay. And she turns and she walks back over to the market. You notice that the lady, as you've kind of have fallen on your butt and have kind of been panicking, you've lost her in the crowd. You do not see her.
Nuri's just
Wait, what did she say to you?
Is that Nuri's she's just like that on the ground. Now she's broken.
Oh no.
Oh, good. Dusty will come over and help her up. It'll just be she'll just put out a hand and help her to her feet.
She's just kind of kind of wobbly.
Yeah, I was a little far. I didn't hear either. Dusty now is looking towards the crowd, unable to find her. He's just where did she go anyway? She doesn't seem too well.
Real quick, a comment from Roxy Bird. Please tell me there's a cabbage guy.
You know what, Roxy Bird? Just for you. There is a cabbage merchant.
All right, we have a goal, everybody. How badly can we ruin this guy's financial career? How quickly can we destroy his life? Just
yeah.
How quick? It has to be on accident. But we have to do it on purpose. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
Okay. Not my cabbages. Yes, Melody will. Yes, there is a cabbage guy. He is wheeling his cart of cabbages. Oh goodness.
After a little moment of just brain not computing, Nuri's going to just wait. Yeah, they both know. Okay, she's going to just kind of put her arms over their shoulders if Amaris lets them, and pulls them into a quick little group huddle. Does Amaris let her do that or not?
High or low?
Low.
No, she does not.
So like Nuri goes to do that and you back off, and she just is like, Amaris, come here. Just come here. One arm still like hooked
Why?
around Dusty's neck. I'm gonna tell you what she said.
Also, not derail Jay. I'd like to give Roxy Bird inspiration for the comment, though I don't know how that would work. Yes, Roxy Bird can get inspiration. Audience inspiration. We'll figure out what that does later. But
Mark it down
audience-
on your personal character sheet real quick.
Yeah.
thanks.
Roxy Bird. Oh, you know what? If you give a audience member inspiration, they have the power to let one of the players re-roll a roll.
Be careful with that. They could just start giving everybody
We
inspiration.
roll a
and you only
natural.
do-
Well,
just the chest.
I don't know.
if we
It
roll a
has to be
natural
DM
20 and they
approved.
don't want it to work,
It has to be
I
DM
mean-
approved. Okay?
it's a lot of power.
That is a lot of
Okay,
power.
Roxy Bird, you just got
Dangerous.
power to change the game. That's pretty cool.
That's how it is for now, until we figure out some other definitions for it. We'll have it be that for this session. Okay. There we go. Okay, so Nuri.
So does Amaris come closer when she is like, come close, or not?
And she's standing there. She's just like, why?
Well then fine, I'm not gonna tell you. She just whispers it to Dusty's ear.
And also Roxy Bird, yes, you can do that.
That'd be rude though. Just putting that in there. I'm just kidding. Unless it's an
Yeah.
NPC.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
Just kidding. She's gonna whisper into Dusty's ear. The old lady said that it's hard being between two different courts. She knows.
So you can't see his eyes, but you figure if he had eyelids, they would have widened at this information. He just lets out a, oh no.
Oh no. I don't know what to do. I haven't prepared for this. Not really, except to run. I don't know what to do.
I mean, do we look for her?
Do we take her out? I don't know.
Probably not that one, but I mean, maybe. I don't. He's just like, she's like cocking his head. He like looks up from their huddle and looks towards Amaris, and he just like motions for her to come towards him. Just like,
Amaris rolls her eyes and walks over.
let's go. He like leans over.
Finally interested
he
in
explains-
figuring out what this lady said.
well, from Dusty, it's fine. But he relays this information. He's just like, so yeah, there's that.
So you've told
Now we're
Amaris
just-
the information at this point?
Yeah, he's like, now we're just trying to figure out what we should do about it. Any thoughts?
Well, it did seem pretty weird and completely out of the blue. That makes me a bit suspicious of her.
Yeah, for sure. Should we go after her? Try to get some info, maybe. How does she even figure that out?
Maybe us going after her is what she wants. If we do see her again and we do decide to follow her, we should make it as subtle as possible. We don't want her catching on to anything.
This is a good plan. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should get the horses food. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nuri
Yeah.
just double checks her clothing to make sure that none of the sun stuff can be seen. And she's like, "Yep, I'm still wearing desert clothing."
Just to double check.
Just double checking.
You guys do know that this town, so Basin Wind, its major export is textiles. So you do know that you could probably get clothing here for decently cheap. So you
Okay.
do at this point, you do notice a guard is coming up to you guys. A guard comes up to you guys. He's holding like a spear in one hand as he comes up. He goes, "Don't worry, you're not in trouble. It's just if you could move your wagon out of the center of the town square, that would be much appreciated, as it is blocking the flow of traffic."
Oh yeah. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Is there a place do you happen to know a place we could park? We're new to town, and
Adventurers, I assume, probably.
yes.
Yeah, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna head up the main pathway over here, and you're gonna take a right. Over there, you're gonna find a carriage spot where you can park your carriage. Small fee. It's just 2 copper a night. So you can keep
Okay.
it there for as long as you're staying in the city.
Perfect. Sounds reasonable. Thank you.
Of course, just if you could keep moving,
Yeah, of
I
course.
appreciate it.
Dusty will then kind of like check the horses, make sure they're not stuck on anything, and then like start leading them. And as he's doing this, he's saying, "Well, I guess we'll go set the cart down first, and then we can work from there."
Let's get the horses food first, so then we don't have to carry it around.
Yeah,
And we can
that's
just
true.
put it in the cart.
Good plan.
Okay. So what you do is that as you're walking on this main road, you do notice that there's several different boutiques around. Lots of different like gentlemen's wear of, like different like clothing shops basically for various different people. Um, and and so you guys head up towards where the carriage parking is, and you notice that there is a stable right next to it, where you believe that you can pick up some horse feed.
Okay.
Let's grab
When-
some.
How much does horse feed cost? How much?
It is going to be the same amount as rations for a person,
Oh, nice.
which is
Okay.
actually on a discount here, because generally horses eat a lot more. So it's going to be at a discount. So I believe that's what, a silver per day or 2 silvers per day?
I think it's cheaper than my.
I
I'm
don't know.
looking it up.
We're
I
looking
should-
it up.
I'm a bad D&D player. I don't even have the book next. Oh, I totally do. Actually, wait, what? I won't touch it.
Oh goodness, what did I do? I tried to look it up.
5 silver for a day worth of rations.
So yeah, so it's 5 silver for a day's worth for each horse. Also, what happened to the map?
Okay, we have 12
I might have
rations
to
right
refresh
now.
this page. Sorry, guys.
For horses?
Yeah, for horses, 12 horse rations. So it took us about, I think it was like, we had like 20. So it took us like 8 rations to get from Sunshield to Basin Wind. So it may be wise to approximately have Dusty in canon math out approximately how long. So that's 4.1, 12.5.
It was like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
To Lake
Yeah,
Mount.
it's going to be 2 weeks to get to Lake Mount.
Okay. So yeah.
So we're
like
gonna
at
need
least 14 rations. Do we want to just
28.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Because you have 2 horses.
2 horses. That's
So we need 28 rations.
at least. Let's just call it 30. So that means
Which
we
would be
need-
only 30 gold pieces.
yeah. So that's
I know, 15 gold pieces.
18, right? Because
30 silver.
12 plus 8. Yeah, that's how that works. So we just need 18 rations. More rations, and then we'll have 30 total.
Oh, only 18 more.
Yeah, that'll be 30, which will be 2 over the 28 we'll need. But it's cutting it close because it only gives us 1 day of like traffic. So we got to account for traffic. Got to make sure we have the right amount of gas, So maybe we'll call it like, instead of 18, we'll add like 5 onto that. So
5 onto the 18?
Yeah, like 23.
23.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
so that's 5 silver for that. So times 5. So the 115 silver. And then that'll be 11 gold, 5 silver. Is that how that works? Yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah. You didn't think
did it,
D&D
boys.
had math in it. What? It's all about math.
Yeah.
It's all about math.
The dice themselves are colloquially referred to as math rocks.
Shiny math rocks? I have shiny math rocks.
No, they're the
Math rock
clickety-clacks.
display.
Clickety-clacks.
Math rock
Okay.
display. Okay.
Dusty, are you putting forth money, or am I putting forth the money, or Samara's putting forth the money?
I
got money. I'm just who are we taking
Who's
it out of?
I'll drop like 5 gold into it, but we'll say Dusty will pay you 5 gold later so that I don't have to do the turning into a mouse shenanigans again.
How about, let's see. You're gonna put 5 gold in?
Yeah.
So I'll put in 1 platinum. That's
Which
10
is
gold.
10 gold.
So we need 5 silver. Mars, do you have any silver pieces? I only got gold and platinum.
Huh.
You can exchange some, Amaris, if you need.
I have 6 silver pieces.
I think that's enough.
Would you be okay donating 5 of those?
Sure, it's for the horses.
Yes. Okay, that's 15 gold and 5 silver. Yeah, we did it.
We did
You
it.
pay it, and you guys get all the horse food that you need for it.
Have determined. Let's go.
And you got them for both horses, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So after getting the rations, we'll then head to the barn place?
The place to store your carriage.
Yeah.
Kind of like a carriage parking lot, but yeah.
Okay. Do you leave your horses there too, or do we like unhook them and we just like walk them through town and to all the boutiques and whatever with those?
No, so the stable is next to the carriage parking lot because what you'll do is you'll dock your horses there. So it's the same price. So it's 2 silver a night. Or sorry, not sorry.
2
so
copper.
It's 2 copper a night for the carriage parking lot. For the
Okay.
horses, it's 2 silver a night because it costs a little bit more to take care of a horse.
Okay.
Because they're getting food and water while they're here.
Okay.
And like being brushed, and they're getting treatment. Basic.
That's good.
Treatment.
They'll like that. They'll like that. I'll let Dusty will talk, like he'll look at Trapper and he'll say, "Now behave yourself. Don't get into any trouble while we're gone."
Trapper kind of like flips his mane back and it's like, okay, but you better hurry back. I'm ready for some adventure. And he kind of like bobs his head a little bit and he's like, yeah, kind of prancing his feet forward. He looks super like, I'm ready.
Good. We'll try not to take too much time. We do need to get going soon. And then he'll turn over towards Lucky and I'll say, "Make sure Trapper stays out of trouble for me."
Lucky's like, you don't have to worry about it. Or you can. Who knows? Life is just so much.
Dusty nods and he just like pats Lucky on the head and then he pats Trapper as well and he says, "Okay, thank you guys." And then he'll be on his way.
Alrighty.
So how much was the fee for them again?
At 2 silver per night.
Per horse, right?
Yeah. Her horse.
She'll just give them a gold piece then
Oh,
to
dang. Okay.
do like the horse. Wait, two. So that should be 2 nights for the horses and the carriage, just in case.
Okay.
And then a little extra because she's like, make sure to give our horses some carrots, please, or an apple.
Absolutely, they will be treated nice. The stable
Extra
master.
nice is the goal.
Yeah. The stable master is
Okay.
like, absolutely extra nice, more than happy. And he pulls the carrot out immediately and starts giving it to Trapper. And Trapper's like, all right. And Dusty, you still haven't quite severed your connection to Trapper yet, and you just hear, I'm gonna chow down on this carrot like I chow down on evil.
Ah, what a hero. What a hero.
Nuri, Amaris, you notice that Trapper eats the carrot very aggressively.
One of his special talents.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, this horse is enthusiastic about everything.
Yep.
He's a half
Can confirm.
glass half full kind of guy.
Yeah. He's a the glass is made of diamonds kind of guy.
The glass is made of diamonds. Ho ho ho.
Yeah. Pretty fancy.
Well, after we leave the horses, Nuri is going to look to Amaris. Anywhere you want to go while we're in town? We're just making this a day trip. I don't know.
Mars is eyeing the boutiques.
Spa day.
Spa
Spa
day.
Like looks
day.
towards the stores, and she's like following Amaris's eye line. Oh, okay. You pick which one we go to first, then, huh? Okay, this is exciting.
Okay, now I'm
Okay.
worried Nuri is trying too hard to mend things.
She's not trying too hard.
Is she definitely maybe not doing the best at it? Yes.
It's fine. That's probably fine.
Amaris is just going to head to one of the boutiques.
Nuri follows. And it's just like looking around as she's walking, but like keeping her head forward, so it's just her eyes darting around.
Alrighty.
Dusty will come too. Dusty will come too. I was debating a high or low, then I decided that it makes more sense for him to just go.
There you go. Tag along to the girls' day.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Alrighty.
it's a family day.
You're going on a family outing.
Family night out. Make this a weekly thing.
You guys begin to head towards the boutique. Okay. You notice people traveling around, just kind of like walking through, going in and out of different various stores. And you guys make it to a boutique. Um, and it's just titled Boutique by Claire.
Does it look like fancy clothing, traveler clothing?
This
Jewelry?
one looks like mid-range clothing, so it's like not like quite extravagant, but also not like ratty and stuff. You see like in the window of the shop, because window shopping, I guess. You see there is a very like pretty traveling dress. You also notice that there's like there's two mannequins. There's a girl and a guy, and you'll see that like the female one is wearing a very nice, flattering like leather armored like traveling dress kind of a thing. Um, and you notice that the male mannequin has like pants and a tunic and is wearing like some leather armor on top as well.
Well, Mars, this one you like? Do you want to go in here?
Sure.
Okay. Nuri's gonna go inside.
Okay. You head inside. um, and you notice that there is as you kind of walk inside, you notice that. So, okay, let me describe real quick. So, the window that you have, it has the two mannequins inside. There's like a curtain behind it, so you can't see into the store. So, when you walk into the store, there's just so many different like racks of clothing, all different sections. You notice that there's a little raised up podium, just like slightly raised, with like three mirrors around it. And you see that there is a Haragon, which is a rabbit person.
Oh
Very
no.
looks very small, very young, standing on the podium, and she looks to be getting this very cute little dress. Um,
Are there other rabbit people parents with her?
um,
How many of these demon-fed rabbit people are there? Just curious. Asking for a friend.
Dusty was afraid of rabbits. Um, there is one tall, slender Haragon, um, who looks to be the mother of this child. And you notice that the person that is like, that there's another person standing off to the side that looks to be an old turtle woman. So a turtle person. Dusty, you're on mute.
I was declaring the observation that there are tortoises and hares here,
How many of
which
these
is good.
demons, I mean rabbit people, are there?
So there's only two.
Yes, there's only two
Okay.
Haragons. Um, There's one
Okay.
tortoise that you see over there, very old lady tortoise who's kind of like slowly moving around, um, helping out these customers. And you do notice that there looks to be a younger looking tortoise behind the counter, who seems to be folding up fabric, handing it to a human woman, and the human woman passes over some coins and says thank you and walks out of the store past you guys and just smiles as she's like carrying her new parcel of clothing. Um,
Oh, good. High or low, Emily?
Hi.
Okay. We'll roll. We'll roll. Okay. We'll just do this. Okay. Maybe you'll hear it, or maybe not. You said hi. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So as you guys enter in, Dusty, like, seeing the residents, the kind residents of said shop, um, like, like, you see him like physically stop and like put weight back onto his other foot, and then he just like leans down a little bit and says, "I'll just stay by the door," and then just kind of like leans up against the entrance to the to the shop, letting a door close if it needs to, but otherwise it'll just stay there.
Alrighty.
Nuri just nods in understanding and quickly takes a look around and um yeah.
Yeah, so as you're looking around, it doesn't look like there's any other customers at this time. But what you figure, looking at all the clothing here, is that this is a place to buy traveler's clothing that's like cute and fashionable, but also like hardy, durable. You can find all different kind of like different kinds of clothing here. They do not sell the leather armor, but they do sell the clothing that goes underneath armor.
Hmm. Nuri seems attracted to like a blue colored one, but then like shakes her head and is like, no, no. Then she's gonna go stand by the door with Dusty.
Amaris is going on a shopping spree.
There we go. Alrighty. So whatever kind of style that you're looking for, just describe what it is and we'll say that they have it. Unless it's absolutely kind of crazy.
I wouldn't say it would be too crazy. Mars is the kind of person that's like maybe a little bit showy, but not too showy that it hinders my ability to defend myself.
Okay.
She also wants something that could possibly help her a bit more. That could help her a bit more with hiding in a way. Like with the whole experience in the nightmare realm, she's changed her outfit in appearance before to try and better hide, but now she's feeling like that wasn't enough.
Okay. So you're looking for something that will help you kind of change your persona again?
In a way, yes.
Okay. Well, you can definitely find something like that. Would you like to kind of describe what it looks like?
I think this is something that I need to draw out.
Okay.
To
So-
really get a good vision of it.
I think what we'll do is you can pay 2 silver pieces for this. And they do exchange currency here. So if you pay 2 silver pieces, you can get it back, or you can get that. And if you would like to draw that out, you may. And then we'll show it on the stream next time.
All right, I will pay 1 gold.
Oh, so to get exchange? So she'll give you
Yeah.
8 silver in return.
Awesome.
Okay. Alrighty. So you start to head out of the store with your new outfit. And as you step out, I would like everyone to make a perception check.
She's following us. Can I have advantage because Dusty's on high alert?
Yes.
Due to the presence of hares in his area. Epic.
Rabbit
thing.
people.
It's funny because the advantage came out as more of he actually can that be disadvantage? Can I change my decision now knowing the dice rolls?
Also,
So-
natural 20.
Natural 20 from Sierra with a 25 total. Dusty, you know what? Sure, you can have the disadvantage if you
Let's
want it.
go.
Which
I
means it's a
do.
nat 1.
I do want the disadvantage. I'm just very Dusty was just so preoccupied. As they were leaving, he like had his head over his shoulder that was not even paying attention. Completely tunnel vision.
He's just like, these rabbits. Amaris, you got a 7 for your perception. So yeah, so none of you guys really notice. Takes the net one just for the story. Yes, very true, Melody Wolf. None of you guys really like notice anything except for Sierra. You notice the old lady walking along very slowly across the path. And as she's like across the way, probably about like 10 feet from you guys, just like going down the road very slowly. And she stops as she gets in front of you, like 10 feet ahead, but she stops as she's like in front of the boutique. You see her kind of look over at the window, And then her eyes lock with yours. And she taps the side of her nose and points
Can I
at
make
you.
an insight check?
For what?
I don't know. Malice? Is it malice looking, or is it like
Roll insight. Yeah, let's do
Is she
insight joke? I don't know.
evil?
I'm kind of scared.
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine.
24.
24. Okay.
Just shy of a natural 20.
So sad. Um. Oh my goodness. Yes. So you get a 24 for your insight. You can tell that there's not malice behind it. What it seems like is she's like, with kind of like patting at the side of her nose and pointing at you. You kind of gain the feeling that she has some sort of like connection to you that you don't really understand. Um, and she taps the side of her nose and she points at you and she goes, "Would you like to chat, dearie?"
High or
We can have
low?
we can have a
She
spot
did
of
want us to
tea.
follow her. She did want us to follow her. Amaris was
We
right.
can have a spot of tea. We're gonna go high.
Okay. And has anyone else in the party picked up what was happening, or is it just like they're
When
oblivious?
when she spoke, they can choose whether or not they heard her.
Yeah, Dusty didn't hear her. He doesn't even know she's there.
He's like,
With his
rabbits.
natural one.
Amaris.
High or
did
low,
you-
Nuri?
Low.
She does hear.
Okay. So Amaris, you hear her talk, and so now you're like, So
Yes.
she says, well, just for we can have a spot of tea.
Okay. Nuri. I'm freaking out. Okay. She's like, her hand is like just death gripping her spell book. And she's just like going to like hold it up like so. She's just like, yeah, sure. Tea. Okay. Okay. Sure. She's like looking at either of them like, what?
Okay. Dusty, you do hear Nuri say, sure.
Tea.
And the old lady looks at you, Nuri, and she just has one little old finger and kind of pulls it towards a closer. And
Oh, good.
she says, follow me.
Probably fine.
The parlor's down this way.
Nuri's going to have Houdini kind of just like launch off her shoulder, and he's going to fly above, keeping an eye out for traps, shadow things. I don't know.
You may do so. He may do
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. At this point, Dusty does like turn over. He probably catches like the old lady leaving as he like looks towards you. He says, "Sorry, what tea? What tea? Is there a tea shop nearby?" Or sorry,
I don't
I was
know.
not paying attention.
The old lady invited us to a tea.
Oh.
Okay. Nuri's
Oh.
gonna start following very nervously and
Alrighty.
Yep. legs shaking as she's following.
You guys follow the old woman. She is slow. But you guys follow her around the town. She goes through the main square. And then you notice her kind of walking down into this alleyway.
Nuri stops. She's like, this seems out of the way. Weird.
And she goes, no, it's right here.
Is there like any signs of a tea shop?
You notice that like this alleyway, there are no signs. It's just stone walls, and the old lady just kind of goes, ah, you must see. She walks in a little more into the alleyway, and you notice her grab her cane and kind of pulls it up into her hand, and the top of it, the what part she was gripping from, looked kind of like a little bit of like a mallet, the head of a mallet. And she taps it on this one stone 4 times. Dun, 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 dun. And then grabs it back in her hand and sets it down to lean on it. And you notice that this entryway starts to like curl in on itself, and becomes a magical door.
Okay, that's cool, but she's not.
She's not. She goes, it's the best tea shop in town. And she pushes open the door, and you actually hear a lot of like noises of like people talking in there.
Okay. High or low?
Hi.
Nuri will follow. And as she approaches the door, Houdini's gonna land on her shoulder.
Hey, you may do so. Or he may do so.
But
you guys
right
all-
before she enters, she suddenly gets this air of calm, and she's not like clutching or shaking, and her book kind of settles at her side, and she looks very dignified and a little uppity, like, oh, it's a little dusty in here, you know, as she like follows
It's
it.
like,
It
it's
is
gonna
a-
be a different person.
Yeah, there's gonna be a big Dusty in there too, not just a little one. But Dusty actually says, as we're like moving towards it, he like reaches out and like gently puts his hand on Nuri's shoulder, and he's like, "Are we sure we want to do this? I mean, it looks like a tea shop and everything. Seems as though it will be fine, but
I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine. And if it's not, she kind of leans back a little bit. We'll just blow her into smithereens. And she's gonna follow the old lady in.
Dusty just kind of like looks down towards Amaris as Nuri says that. He like looks towards Amaris to see like how she reacts to that.
She has a look on her face that you could probably tell just from that. She's thinking in her mind, this is probably the one time I'm okay with her doing that.
He lets out a slight sigh of relief, agreeing with the notion that that probably is option B. So yeah, he'll follow Nuri in.
Alright, need I remind you of my arson? Thank you, Roxy. Also, for some reason on the screen of the stream, it's not showing the YouTube comments, so I am so sorry. I don't know what's going on with it. We'll figure that out for next week. But just so everyone knows, so I'm super sorry about that. But I can see the YouTube comments here on the side, on my
I
other
did like
screen.
the Diagon Alley reference. That is cool.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
exactly where I thought.
Yeah, that's a little bit of the design. Alrighty. So you guys enter into what looks to be this quaint little tea shop with nice wooden floors. Everything in here is like very wooden built, so like wooden tables, wooden chairs, with these beautiful woven backings with like moss lining the edges. There's a lot of like hanging flower pots with lots of vines draping down. Um, as you come in, the door does close behind all three of you. Not like a slam. It just closes. Um, and you can assume that it probably seals up the magic passage. Um, and you notice the old lady kind of walks towards where this big bar is, and the bar is just covered in greenery and flowers, and it looks absolutely beautiful. And the old lady, you notice that like as she heads up to the bar, she kind of straightens out her back and kind of tucks her cane into like a belt loop. And she looks a lot taller. And as you kind of are seeing her now, she is starting to look a lot younger. Um, as she comes up to the bar and she goes, may I get? She counts. She turns back and she counts to you guys. She goes, 3 herbal teas. Oh yes, with Viola's milk in there, of course. And she, well, and then she turns back to you and she goes, yes, if you could just come this way. And you see that there's this archway that's covered in these hanging vines where that's kind of separated, that leads to a separate area from where the main like cast of characters that is here in the bar, in the tea shop. Um, you do notice as you come in that there looks to be a lot of interesting people here. It looks like there's a satyr here, a couple satyrs that are like drinking tea together around a table. As you notice, the person who took the order of the old lady is actually like a little pixie that's floating around. Um, you guys seem to have entered into a Fey tea shop. As the old lady, quote unquote, who looks a lot younger now, but is still old, goes and she brushes aside the vines that lead into the private room. She looks at you all and she goes, come, come. And reality mistakes were made. Um, yes. She goes, come, come. This is just a nice, quiet area.
Emily, could you real quick look at my message I sent you?
So out of game, no making deals. You will lose your firstborn child. Don't just don't do it.
No deals.
In game,
Yeah, Nuri, don't do it.
in game, Dusty seems very excited by like the decor here. He's like he's looking around, and he's like by the time they get to the seat, he's probably actually ahead of everyone else, like just taking everything in, and he like happily moves forward to go sit down. And he just seems like happy as can be.
Yeah. But there's no metal around.
Yeah.
Nuri will go and sit down and has her like spell book sitting on the table, her arm on it. She has like her purple words have kind of like slid down and are just kind of on the ground, hidden a little bit under the table, ready to act if needed.
Yeah. Okay. And Amaris?
Before Nuri gets too far, Amaris is actually going to grab her arm and pull her back a bit and just say, what race did you say she looked like?
She looked like a half elf. Does she still look like a half elf?
She does kind of. A little bit younger now. With just the slightly pointed ears.
Still a half elf. It's fine. Wait, is Amaris a half elf? Or is she full elf? Okay, half elf.
She's half elf.
You
Amaris
do. She does
nods
not look like
slightly.
one of your siblings at all. Just so you know.
You never know. You
I'm
never
just letting you know.
Illusion?
Disguise kits are a magical thing.
That's true. That is very true.
You
So
go first.
Amaris will actually walk up with Nuri, but as they're walking up, she's going to say this pretty quietly. You want to make it up to me?
Yes. How can I do that?
What's the command word for time piercer?
She like opens her book.
Oh no.
Let me see.
I know what it is. I just don't remember how to pronounce it. So give me a second.
Wait, if you can spell it to me, I can tell you how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I know how to do it.
I don't know where my note went for that. What's the new note binder?
Ha 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 ha. I wonder if it's in the party notes. That'd be funny. I'll double check. Probably not, but you never know.
Nuri leans over and goes, Sigan.
Oh yeah.
Sigan. Amaris nods.
Sigan.
And you can
Sigan.
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 Right.
It's Sigan.
Sigan. Sigan.
So Amaris just like nods a little bit, and I'm gonna have you roll perception.
Okay, perception. I'm, knock on wood, decently okay right now with that. Not as decent as I thought. It's a 10.
As Amaris sits down, you see her shift kind of weirdly, but that's about it.
Okay. Nuri sits down at the table and her arm's on her spell book. I'm sorry, but I never got your name. What is it?
She kind of looks over at you, and you notice that her hair that was like all ratty and gross is now kind of, she like pops it up and it becomes like curled and beautiful, very short curls, but like pops it up, and she goes, it's Sasha.
Sasha, how wonderful to meet you. And what is it you wanted to talk about in this fine little tea shop you have?
Oh, well, it's not every time that we meet a stranger from out of town that's from the courts, and well, she kind of gestures to you and she goes, I can tell you're of a neutral party, it seems, with a mixture of courts. And before you ask, how can I tell? It's in the eyes, dearie. Those are winter eyes, not summer. As she says that, the tea comes and it gets set down in front of you guys by a tall elven woman who has like flaming red hair. She actually looks like, sorry, not elven, Eladrin. So she looks like a summer Eladrin. So there's like just bright red hair, covered in a lot of like warm colors as she comes and she sets a tray. It looks like a very simple like tea tray and it's all like made out of wood, and beautiful like leaves are woven into the handles and of all the teacups and the teapots and the tray itself. Dusty's having a heyday with this.
Yes, he's quite happy.
Mhm.
He hasn't said anything yet, but like you hear him like look around and like audibly like make a gasping sound. He's like, oh, like he's completely in awe of everything around him.
The Eladrin gives you a little smile at that little gasp. She just quirks a smile and walks out. Um, and the old lady, or Sasha, as the leaf the vines that were kind of like pulled back from the Eladrin passing through the archway come down and close. Sasha says, "Oh, and just so you know, there is a magical barrier on those vines, so nobody can hear in or out of this room. It is very private. No need to worry about anyone pesky overhearing." As she starts to pour herself some tea into a cup, and she grabs a jug, what looks to be like a milk jug, and she pours some of that into the tea. Um, and she kind of grabs a spoonful of sugar, mixes it into her tea, and she starts to make milk, mix it in. Oh,
Bless you.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Just don't die.
This is
Just
actually
avoid that.
low-key kind of terrifying that we're just in this Fey shop, locked in, with a lady who immediately knew Nuri's biggest secret. It's kind of freaky. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. It is a little
Suspicious.
freaky.
Suspicious. Suspicious.
You're sus. No, she mixes in the tea, and kind of blows on it a little bit, and goes and takes a little sip, and just, well, you really must try some. It's very good milk, very good tea.
Well, thank you so much. Nuri will put the cup in front of her, but not drink it. So, have you had other strangers like me around before then? You said it's not often, but that implies it's happened before.
Oh, yes, every now and then there's someone new that comes into town. I love to come and mingle and meet and learn their story.
Oh, how wonderful, Sasha. That's very
Yes.
kind of you.
Well, tell me your story. I have to imagine that everything going on in the courts is not boding well with you. Unless you prefer to stay out of the politics, then I understand.
You are rather bold for one of the courts to be speaking so openly about it, especially in front of my company.
Oh, well, I figured if they're a part of your company, you all seemed very close. And, well, I recognize a Leodon, member of the Leodon shipping company. Both of you.
Amaris stiffens a bit. Nuri,
What?
can you make another perception?
Yeah. 7. She's very focused.
She's too
Yeah,
focused.
she's very focused on this lady.
No, don't worry. I'm not saying it in a creepy way. I met one of the workers. His name is escaping me at this point, but he would come and drop by the mushrooms I ordered all the time. Mushrooms and fairy moss and frog algae.
What's his name?
Oh, I'm gonna have to look in my deep notes to remember, because Millie not write it down pre-sesh. So you give me one moment and I will pull it up for you. Because she had the name right over here in this file. Okay, come on, phone. Where is it? I am so sorry, guys. This is taking a second. Okay. Let's back up. I have to write this down before I forget it. Oh, he was a great shipman by the name Aramil. He talked mighty high of his sisters and his cousins and his family.
Oh, I see. And when was the last time he was here?
Well, he hasn't come to this tea shop, to be honest. He would deliver things to my home in the Fey Wilds.
Oh.
But I'm more curious about your story.
Wait a second. I have to double check something
Yeah,
in
hold
my
on.
notes.
Does
Aramil,
Amaris recognize the name?
yes, Aramil Leodon is Nuri's brother and your cousin. Dusty doesn't know this name, but
No, he probably didn't catch the name either. But
yeah, so Amaris's cousin is Aramil, and Nuri's brother is Aramil. So, same person. It's your older brother, Nuri, so Amaris, it would be an older cousin. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She just goes, "Oh, man, my goodness. He
So,
was
quick
quite the
DM
handsome
question.
fellow." Yes, DM question.
Wait, sorry. DM question. How long has it been? Has she seen Aramel since the incident happened?
Um, you probably have seen him since the incident, but he mostly
Okay.
like works, um, at the company.
So he's been like in good health and condition and
Yeah, he's been healthy.
stuff.
He's been good.
As far as she's known, keeping out of trouble.
I know it sounds like caramel, but it's Aramil. Aramil. Um, but yes, he's been in good health from what you know.
Okay. Ah, I see. So Aramel came and delivered to you often then?
Oh, yes, he was quite a strapping young man. Well, old man. No, still young in his years.
He's not that old.
When you get to my age, dear, he's
And
young.
how old are you?
Oh, give or take a while. I think it's time you share something about yourself, dear.
Well, I'm the same age, give or take a while. Of course, it doesn't show as much on me.
Ah, yes, well, that's because you're an elf.
That's true. I'm afraid there's not much to tell. Of course, you know Lead On Shipping Company. You know Aramel. I would say my achievements are not as exciting as his. I'm a bookworm, you see, mainly just study.
I see. I am curious, though, how you got those winter eyes. When I see your cousin, I'm assuming, as she looks to you, Amaris, goes, all I see is summer. But you have winter eyes. So I'm curious how someone of the Leodon family, a very summer family, managed to get winter in their bloodline.
As a player, I want to hide in shame. Okay. No, he's not doing that though.
Dusty just hiding in the corner. So is anyone drinking the tea? Because she starts to she pour cups for everyone.
I mean, Dusty takes the tea and he like holds it He even like
Mhm.
holds it to his face because it's nice and warm, and this is part of enjoying tea. You see, you're supposed to
Mhm.
feel it. So
Okay.
he's just going to do that step for a very long time.
She won't drink her tea, but she will have lifted it up, and Houdini will have had some.
Okay. Houdini will have had some. Okay. So Houdini
Test if
drinks.
it's poison. That's the goal here.
Yeah,
Just so you know.
Houdini drinks some of it and is like, whoo, whoo. And like, you can converse with him, right? I have to remember
Mhm.
Houdini's voice.
Telepathically, we can, he
Yeah.
can communicate with me.
So do you ask him like telepathically, like if it's poisoned or like if how he's feeling, kind of a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this is really good tea. I feel like strong right now. I feel pretty good.
They're just gonna just stroke his head. They're just gonna set the teacup down.
She goes, I do believe, as she sips it again, it seems your owl very much likes the tea.
Yes, he does. He has a very excited look in his eyes, doesn't he?
As
He
he's just like
smiles.
as he's just like bouncing around on Nuri's shoulders.
He's not like bouncing around, but you can tell that he seems like really excited. And when you like pet him, he does look and feel like stronger in a sense. Like I don't know if birds have like muscles, but like just stronger. I don't really know bird anatomy, but he just
He's bluffier.
seems stronger. Um and she just goes, well,
Nuri will just kind of like run her finger across the rim of the drink. And then she'll take a sip out of it
mhm.
and place it down.
Okay. Let me roll a
What
D100.
happens to me?
Make
I
a
knew something was gonna
Constitution
happen.
saving throw.
It was poison.
No. It's not poison. You gain true sight for the next you gain true sight for the next 5 minutes.
Does she look any different?
Oh yeah, it's true sight. So when you see her, she looks like an older woman. Wait, hold on. Yes.
So she's an older woman, not as old as she was earlier, but still an old woman.
Yes. And you can recognize her as she's not like a fey elf or a half elf or anything. She seems to be like a hag, like a witch kind of a thing. Um Nuri, you're
Oh my gosh. Wait, no. Wait.
wait, what?
This is the time where like you need to pull out the cork board and be like, if she's a hag,
Connected
like
to
to direct
Aramel.
you to the lore here. If you look,
Okay.
and the mushrooms and the moss and the she's eating children. I got it's as simple as that.
I so badly want to know what's going on in Nuri's mind right now.
So she's a hag.
Yeah.
That's what
So
she
she's a
is.
witch. But from what you know,
No, is she like a hag or is she a witch?
a witch.
Okay, so she's not a hag because a hag
Yeah.
is very different.
Yes. But in the sense of like monster manual cards that I can use, hag definition technically
Is the closest
but
thing.
is the closest thing. But she is a witch, not and you know that there are a lot of like neutral parties off in the neutral section of the Fae court. And so you know that for her, she's probably one of the neutral witches that lives off in that area, basically. Because there are a lot of witches that generally, like, they do not take sides. Most witches, some of them will here and there, but most of them don't.
Okay.
From your knowledge. And Amaris, you would also know this information about witches, but you do not have True Sight active on you right now. So you still think of her as a half elf. But yeah, as for the information about witches, is that in this, they generally will have a lot of magical effects. So you can tell that with this milk in here, it seems like this milk will just do like a certain effect. It seems like for your owl, he seems like he feels stronger with it.
Oh, so it's
For
kind of like a wild magic kind of. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, but generally, what you can assume from this witch is that it's not going to be anything like bad, because it's a neutral tea parlor, and so you know that in a lot of these neutral places they don't condone like evil witches or like bad creatures. Like all creatures are welcome, so like a dark elf could come in here, and have tea, but no actual physical fighting or cursing or like anything is allowed in these tea parlors. These are safe zones, basically.
Okay. Um. So as she's like taking that sip, seeing what she really is,
You see her
she
smile and sip.
sets down her teacup, and her purple words, which she's had stationed on the ground, are going to like slither across over to Amaris and kind of like tap her leg and like slither up into her lap, and kind of like, if this is the table, the words are going to just beep, 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 pop up. Like, here's the
Underneath.
table. Yeah, it's going to pop up underneath right here so where she can see it and just form the words, she's a witch. And then the words kind of just like beep, pop down and slide down onto the ground again.
Okay.
She puts her little teacup down.
Is anyone else drinking the potion?
Potion, is
Not
it?
potion, sorry. Sorry,
She slipped up.
it's not actually a
It's a
potion.
potion.
It is tea. It is tea.
Poison!
Oh my gosh, it's
A
not a
potion of
potion.
poison?
I was thinking potion because the milk does the random effects in it. Is anyone else drinking the tea?
Uh, No, Dusty is not drinking the tea.
Yes,
Also,
okay.
he doesn't know very well what a witch is, so I
Okay.
rolled for it.
All right, Amaris, are you drinking the tea?
Amaris isn't the tea type.
Okay. I'm just curious. If you do drink the tea at any point, guys, let me know so I can see the effect. Okay, Nuri.
She sets down the teacup and it just goes, Sasha, you are a lovely host. But I'm afraid my eyes will have to remain a mystery. But I am very curious why my brother would visit you.
Hmm.
For long conversations, not just delivery.
Well, I apologize. If you remain a mystery, then I shall as well.
Sounds like we're at an impasse then.
Very sad. I do hate it when strangers are so. How would I put it? Terse. Untrusting. Witches aren't all bad.
No. Not all bad. but neutral enough that I wouldn't trust a single secret with you.
Mm-hmm. Understandable. Well, there could be a bit of information that you might want to know.
Well, you'll have to give more than that if it's going to be enough to get anything out of me.
It's
A
about
little
what's
information.
happening. It's about what's happening in the Winter Court right now.
Exciting.
Hmm.
Hmm,
Well,
not
it's
really
all right.
interested.
It's all right. I guess you wouldn't want to know anything about a certain heralder. But
Now, why would you think I was interested in someone called... Sorry, what was it again?
I think you heard me very well, dearie. As Aramil has told me, you did marry a dark elf.
Man, Nuri's brother just has a horribly loose tongue. He needs to calm down. These are not secrets you go sharing.
This
Yeah,
is very fascinating, Sasha.
you're like, Aramil,
You-
I'm gonna kill you.
You're close enough with Aramel to talk about my wedding life? Oh, you must have been curious about me for a very long time.
Well, when I do see a family member of Aramil, I am very curious. As well as with you, dear miss. And she turns to you, Amaris. She goes, how's the family?
Amaris just like looks over at Nuri and then looks back and is just like, I think you know.
You're right, I do know. And it's so tragic to hear. Poor sisters.
I'm sorry. As a player, this is as Megan, not Amaris. 4 sisters
Oh,
or poor sisters?
poor sisters.
There's
Okay.
more than I thought.
Yeah, no,
Technically, if
I
you think about it in total, there is 4 sisters.
It's true.
well
Anyways,
no, 3 sisters and a brother.
well, no, there's triplets.
No, so
and
there's
then-
triplets and then you. So there,
yeah,
if
you
someone's
count
talking
as-
about you, there
There
are 4 sisters.
technically are 4 sisters. Okay.
Yeah. Technically 4 girls, I guess. Technically. Anyways, continue.
Nora's just like just looks at her. You said that as if it was plural. In my case, I only have 1.
Ah, such a tension between the youth nowadays and their siblings. Such a shame. Me and my sisters get along quite well.
That's how I thought it would
Nuri's
have turned
like-
out well.
Sorry, you were saying, Amaris?
That's how I thought it would have turned out too.
Yes. Well, I suppose if you aren't willing to share any stories, then this tea party is over. And she kind of sets her cup down, and just says, well, you may leave if you would like, or you can sit here and enjoy some tea, but in that case, if you're not interested in anything, any information I have to offer, no stories you wish to share, then be my guest, you may leave. But if you do want a job to do, getting rid of any pesky bandits around the town over here, I'd be more than happy to pay you for that. And we can keep everything purely transactional.
So Dusty's going to look over toward as she's like saying this and like closing out the conversation. Dusty, who has been listening to her mostly, he actually like his eyes will dart over towards Nuri. I'm going to have you make a high or low, but either way, he's going to wait for whatever you do specifically. So, like, if you stand up and start to leave or whatever, he'll wait for you. But high or low first.
Low.
Okay. I'll do low. I'll do low. Sounds like a plan.
Okay, let me just look at one thing.
Also, can I just say I love the YouTube chat right here where Carlton Ants 1 said, "She's a witch, she turned me into a new," and then Professor Foghorn just responds, "I got better." Like, it's just so awesome. Chat, I love
Okay,
you.
I know that's from something. I just can't figure out what.
It's Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's the scene after King Arthur goes and picks up. Oh, well, he's about to pick up the one really smart dude. Oh no.
Your camera's having a day.
It's
having
a day. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch my camera over. Sorry
Yeah.
guys, I have no idea why it's doing this.
Well,
Hello.
Well, that was freaky. It was like freaking out and like buzzing,
It's
and then
because
all
we're
of a sudden
talking about witches, I guess.
Yes. Apologies for that. Would have given a
Yes.
warning if we could have.
Sorry guys.
So as she says, they're like, then this tea party is over. Nuri's gonna take another sip of her tea. Be like, well, it's hardly a tea party without pastries. I'm up for a conversation if you have some fruit tarts. Do you have any?
Bribed by food. You see Sasha, you see Sasha just kind of, the edges, the corners of her mouth just kind of work upwards. As she goes, well then, I shall get us some pastries. And she stands up and walks out and brushes aside the vines that cover the door, and then they close behind her as she walks over to the bar. You guys are alone for a moment.
Okay, in that moment that we're alone, Nuri will look around, see if there's any invisible people, because she could see that, and then
No invisible people around.
she's gonna lean forwards and be like, okay, we can actually learn about the Heralder here, and I think that's actually quite a bit of useful information that might actually be helpful. It's best to know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yay, nays? How far are we going with this? All the way? Not all the way? Her bird, by the way, is watching for the door to open.
I mean, I'm happy learning whatever we can here. I'm also, what's a witch? What does that mean? Like, I assume she's like magical. I mean, this is like a really fey place. It's actually the first time I've been to a place like this. Anyway, what is? What
be
should I
careful about the
watching
deals
for?
you make. Very powerful creatures.
Okay.
Powerful, lots of magic, very good at making deals, and when they're with their sisters, even more strong. That's not scary at all. Most are neutral parties, but some take sides.
Okay. Amaris, any thoughts on information about the Heralder? What
Nuri's looking at the door.
The door is still shut. Well, the vines are still closed.
She's gonna actually have her word slither out from under the vine, like on the side, just kind of out of sight, and then telepathically tell her, which would actually be the first time they've actually to have like the words telepathically talk to her. Tell her if they can hear us through the vines.
Alrighty. So it kind of slithers off and slithers back in. And you just hear, man, I had so many ideas for the voice of your words. Sound like Jarvis a little bit, as it just goes, no, we cannot hear you outside through the vines.
Thank you so much. Spellbook, we need a name for you.
Of course.
Okay. Sorry, that's really exciting. I didn't expect that voice. Back to Amaris.
Truly.
If you are this passionate about finding out about the Heralder and saving your family in this way, I just don't want you to get too caught up in this. I know this is important to you, Nuri. But it's also been, like, even just with the mention of it and what Esmond has told you, you got really worked up about it. That was one thing that caused you to change. I don't want to see that again. I don't want to see you become that again.
High or low?
Let's go high.
All right. If I'm going too far, stop me. I can get a little lost when it comes to information.
Oh, trust me, I will.
When I say stop me with your words. Don't stab me, is what I mean.
We'll see if words work.
Okay. In that moment, the vines brush aside as Sasha comes back in. She comes in, she sits down in her chair, and she goes, "Here we are," and she sets down the tray of pastries. There are fruit tarts and chocolate-filled croissants. There are, yes, Melody Wolf, that's awesome. There are just all sorts of different pastries like caramels and chocolate covered strawberries, which isn't quite a pastry, but she felt like she should splurge.
But was there a fruit tart? I missed that.
Oh, yes, there were lots of fruit tarts.
Okay.
Are you eating one of the fruit tarts?
Nuri, not Amaris. Nuri. We'll take a fruit tart and happily munch it down without even thinking about it. Without
Okay,
thinking
let
about
me
it.
roll
Just...
a D100.
Aw,
Because it's
man.
made with the milk.
This is a creature you turn into.
You get healed for 1d4 hit points.
Healed. 4 points. But it does nothing.
Yeah. You feel invigorated.
Figured. Nice. thank you so much for the pastry, Sasha. I'm sure Aramel has mentioned to you how I love these pastries.
Hmm, maybe once.
Well, that is curious. Did you first meet him? Wait, how old is she? Let me check.
Math.
About 40 years ago?
She says, I already told you, dearie. I'm not sharing any more about myself unless you share a bit of yours.
Well, about 40 years ago, I got into quite a bit of trouble. And Aramel got me out, but I don't know how he did it. So if he's told you once about it, was that then? Were you the one that helped out?
Well, what kind of trouble? Maybe you have to refresh my memory.
Ah, I stole a fruit tart,
Mm.
which led to a lot of To be fair, it was the first time I've ever seen one. They're glorious creations, absolutely delicious. And
She smiles as
yes.
she bites into a chocolate-covered strawberry while you're talking.
The pinnacle of honesty.
And yes, I got into quite a bit of trouble. Not just me, it was actually my entire family and the lead on shipping company. You probably heard the rumors about that if you've been with us for 40 years as a customer. There was about 2 years where we weren't doing business in the Feywild for a while.
Ah, yes, I do remember that. And yes, I had known Eramil a bit before that incident 40 years ago, as you say. I had helped him out a little bit.
I see. So you're the one that got the evidence that proved I was innocent? For what I was
Eh,
being accused of that I didn't do?
matter of sorts.
Fascinating. He struck up a deal with you then, I'm assuming?
Ooh, a lot of people like to strike up deals with me.
I imagine so, especially when you provide such delicious pastries.
Yes, yes. Anyways, this chit-chat is beginning to bore me with all this dodging of words.
I wasn't dodging words, I was very honest.
In the sense of, I'd like to hear more of you, or if you'd like to make a deal, you can learn some more from me.
Oh, you're wanting a deal, not just a trade of stories? That's very misleading, Sasha.
Well, it depends. The deal could be a trade of stories.
Is that not what we're doing? I just told you a story. You told me a story.
Yes. But if you're looking for a specific piece of information, I'm going to need a better story.
And what story would that be beyond my eyes?
Well, what are you looking for information about?
High or low?
Low. Let's balance out the board.
Well, I guess that will depend. What do you already know about me? This will greatly depend on what kind of story I can offer you for what I'm interested in.
Hmm.
Because otherwise, I will just tell you stories you already know.
Well, I'd like to know what information you're seeking first, and then I can nudge towards what I would like in return. And we
That
can.
depends what you know about me, because depending on what you know about me is going to greatly
It doesn't
vary
necessarily
what
have
I'm
to be a
interested in.
story, miss. Are you looking for information about what? The winter court, the summer court, certain individual, a fey king, perhaps, let's see, a fey queen, a united court, king or queen.
Wait, did she say a united court?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I'm trying to remember the history real quick. Is that any significance beyond the 4 courts?
Yes.
Okay,
So
that's what I thought.
we're gonna pause this conversation real quick, and I'm going to explain a little bit for girls. You're both pretty. Yes, Roxy Bird. Yes. Okay. So a little bit about the Fey courts. So with them is that they're divided into 4 courts. There's spring, summer, winter, fall, and each court has a queen and king of their courts, basically. These are very powerful creatures as they decide the fate of what they do within their court. Now, the courts themselves used to be at war all the time between Seelie and Unseelie. And this was spring and summer together, fighting against winter and fall together. And so ultimately, the way that they stopped this war in the past, as it caused major repercussions on the original world, and you know that this like big war happened before the scattering, which is another in-game lore time, which you guys can ask more questions about these in the comments or at our Q&A next week. But all of this huge war between the Fae courts happened before the scattering. Okay. And it came to a conclusion that in order for the courts to not destroy themselves and destroy the fabric of this world, they had to be united in some way. So they created the United Courts. So in that sense, they each cut off a portion of their land, basically, to form one small region that would be the United Courts, where everyone could come and be as like a mixture of people, of different courts, basically, with one united king and queen over the courts. And the united king or queen is always elected from the current king or queens of the courts. So there's always going to be someone from one court that is king or queen. Now, the last king or queen was Queen Titania and King Oberon, I want to say, from the Summer Court. They were the last united king or king and queen. But they were murdered, what was it, several months ago at this point? And no one knows what exactly happened, with the exception that the summer court blames the winter court, and the winter court blames the summer court. As well, not in the sense of blaming them, but more of like some people are saying, oh, the summer court was trying to start a war, or others are saying, oh, they're just blaming us, but we didn't do it. And the summer court is saying, you guys hate us. Of course you wanted to get the winter like queen and king in there, so of course you killed them. And so there's just all these different accusations running around, and that's why the courts have been so tense lately, because there's always been tension between them, but they have been very tense because we're on the borderline of another war if they can't elect another united king or king and queen. So there is that tension there.
Okay. And she just dropped a new United King or just something about a
No,
United?
she just said
United.
information about, anything. She's like kind of just throwing a whole bunch of stuff out there as she is an information broker kind of a witch. Um, Lore is wilding for the fun. It really is. Very true. Yeah. So true. So this is lore that I've pulled from like lots of different sources, but I've put it together and it is its own thing in this world, in this campaign, the world of Kalimber. Um, but yes, so that is what you and Amaris both know as to lore of the courts here in this world. Um, Dusty, you don't know like too much about it. You know that there's a lot of tension between summer and winter.
Blue bad. I've been told to avoid the blue ones.
The blue ones, yeah. Avoid the blue ones. So,
Okay. Okay. No, that was a little interesting. That's a little curious there, Sasha. You said that Aramel told you about my husband. Do you know about the last time I saw him with my son?
he told me about your wedding.
Nothing else. All right. All right then. What do you want to know to hear about the United Kingdom stuff? That was interesting. I would like to hear more.
Ooh, about the United
Which I guess
Kingdom.
is that even something? I mean, I could just go outside and ask another person or call up my father.
Well, you can ask any person. They would say their own opinions about it. They'd say whether or not, whose fault it is. But from information I know, you tell me something's very interesting about your husband, isn't there? I can feel it in my bones.
There is quite something interesting there. Do you want to know about my lovely husband?
Is he? Well, I guess you could tell me what kind of a dark elf he is. In exchange, I will tell you an information related to the United Courts of the same value.
She's gonna take another fruit tart and be like, just a moment. She's gonna eat it.
Eats it, okay. British tea time intensifies. Yes, she's become British. I don't know how that happened, but it happened.
It happens to Nuri with her false confidence. That's what happens for Nuri. She's like, I will be British. And I will have
Well, now
confidence.
British. Okay.
Well, my lovely husband. He's a dark elf. Gorgeous hair. Gorgeous eyes. But he is very unique in the sense that he has markings on his cheeks, and they're not tattoos.
Wow, so he's one of those dark elves, the ones. Huh. Interesting.
So, what about the courts?
Well, I can tell you that the Heralder is vying for United Court King.
Oh. I'm gonna write this down.
I mean, if you want power over all of the nations,
Like UKD.
why not take
I'm
where
so
the power is?
I'm sorry, Shane. We are not British. We are American. We just
No.
apparently when we have a Fae tea time place, apparently we both turn British, and I don't know how
Just
that happened.
every time,
I'm
actually.
sorry.
But
I will do
it's
a British
okay.
accent forevermore for you, Shane. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
no. I'm sorry. We are not intending to offend. It's just tea. I don't know why. It makes me talk British, I
There's
guess.
only one place tea has ever existed in the entire world. Everyone knows. This is just a fact.
Arizona. No, just kidding. Just
Arizona.
kidding. No. No, just messing. Just messing. Yes. Also, thank you so much, Shane, for your comments. It's so fun. We are so happy to have you joining us. Also, keep in mind, audience as well. One of the things that we have here for audience participation is if you think that one of the players are doing such a good role play or something awesome, you can give them inspiration. You just have to say it in the chat and the reason why. So, just so you guys know. Anyways, back into this conversation. She says, she drops that bomb that the Heralder, which is the main bad guy of the campaign, for those of you who are just joining us for the first time, which is awesome, is vying for the United Court King's seat.
Gosh darn it, Esmond. Okay. Nuri opens her spell book, takes the note right in front of the girl, closes it. I'm very much into research. Wow. Interesting. How is the Heralder going about this? That I'm very interested in that next. Rumors, what do you know?
This one's a bit more information, and so I'd like if you could do a task for me.
We were just trading stories. I don't know about that.
It's very simple, really. All I need is for you to deliver some milk to some people outside town. Just
Oh, is
outside
it the bandits you wanted cleared away?
Yes. It's not this milk, don't worry. It's a different kind of milk.
That's what worries me.
Mm-hmm. You shouldn't be worried. They're bandits. Nobody likes them.
If I'm going to run an errand for you, actually have to get up and walk out of the city, I'm going to need more than just what's going on with the Heralder.
You act so high and mighty.
Well, I am a high elf. It kind of runs in the genes.
You see her kind of laugh that off a little bit, and then her eyes kind of widen.
Oh, shoot!
She looks back at you and she goes, I see.
Uh-oh.
Now, I
High
think
and
that
mighty.
bit of...
A high elf could possibly...
Oh my
Is it
gosh!
possible that your eyes come from Anastrania Windrail, the dearly departed
GG.
princess of the Winter Court?
Hey, GG, y'all. We'll see you next week. Okay? GG. Well played. Shakes her hand.
Just for
Well
audience clarification, what Sierra's freaking out about is the fact that she just spilled the beans to a witch that she is technically the illegitimate daughter of a Winter Court princess and a summer elf tradesman.
Wait. Okay. Are there other high... it's high elf as a race, though. That's the type of elf she is.
Yes, but with the way that everything was, worded and, the high and mighty, all of this, everyone knows how Princess Anastrania was killed for, like, for dating
Oh, they know
summer
that?
elf.
Oh, shoot. I did not know that.
Yeah, they know for dating a summer elf, but they
It
didn't
was-
know that she had a kid.
It was
Nobody knows
bound
that
to
she had a kid.
happen. It was bound to happen if we slipped up somewhere.
Darn witches!
It had to happen.
Which is like, interesting free information.
I'm afraid that's
Whoa, whoa,
actually
whoa, whoa,
not
whoa.
free information. I'm not going to go. Sorry, go, Amaris. You interrupt.
But also, where I'm just really curious. Where in that conversation was the word princess mentioned? Because as far as I know, as far as I've been listening, you put that into her mouth. I didn't hear her actually say it. She could just be from a very high
Dearie.
aristocratic family. I mean, seriously,
Some-
the Leodon Shipping Company, we do a lot.
Dearie, some things don't have to be said. And with that reaction, she points at Nuri, who was like, she's like,
Okay, Nuri did not react the way I did. Nuri, at the most, would have been like, well, I am a high elf. And she's like, high elf. And she's like, shoot. You know, like, the way I reacted was Sierra, a player, really realizing, oh, shoot, I messed up.
I don't know. I think sometimes we should let these reactions.
She just, like, falls on the table, laughing and falling all over the place.
Yeah.
If that's how
That's
she
all
did
right.
it, she's like, no. I just think it's hilarious you think I could be royalty. But, like, no, that didn't happen. Okay. Nuri wouldn't have done that. I messed up big time. As the player.
That's okay.
Sorry.
She just goes, all right. Either way, if you would like the information that you're seeking about the Heralder and his plans to go about getting the United King throne, I don't know why I'm British.
I don't know
Anyways,
I'm British.
I either need a substantial amount of information in return, or you can deliver some milk for me.
All right, I'll give you substantial information. Tell me about the Heralder.
What kind of information are you offering?
You'll just have to find out.
Hmm.
There'll be more details about what I said my heritage.
And she reaches her
Keep
hand
going.
over. Deal.
Deal. She'll shake her hand.
You feel like a tingle in your hand afterwards, as you've now entered into a deal with the Fey Witch. And she goes, from what I have learned, and she kind of gets in a little closer, even though she doesn't have to. She kind of does. And she bites into a chocolate strawberry, savors it for a minute, and then flicks the leaves of it onto the ground. Well, he's going to topple a king. A young king.
Well, that's kind of implied.
Yes, I wasn't finished.
Okay.
Deal.
Sorry. My apologies, Sasha. My apologies.
Let me finish. I have a bit of an act here going, and you guys are kind of ruining it. So if you could just give me a moment, I have my dramatic pauses.
You tell me when you're done, and then...
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I will.
My apologies, Sasha. I'm going to
Yeah.
take it through chart.
Okay. All right. So she continues. Topple a king. You've met or heard of Azon Windrail, brother to Anastriona, and oh dear, I forget the name of the other one, but it's fine. He is technically next in line for the throne of the Winter Court. And from what I've heard, the current king has died, and the current queen of the Winter Court has fled. So Azon here is set to inherit the throne, but from what I've heard is that a certain heralder is sorry, look, I just read the comment. I need to stop reading the YouTube comments. Is that the heralder is out to seize the throne from Azon. And if he gets that throne, then all that is stopping him from getting the united throne is the kings and queens of the other courts. But from the way he handles things and from a certain obsidian knight he has in his army, it seems that that may not be an issue. Though, to be honest, I haven't seen much from the obsidian knight recently. In the past couple days. It's got a bit missing. But that's neither here nor there. You see, you can only claim a united throne if you have claim on a current throne. And the only way that the heralder can have claim on the throne is if either the entirety of the royal, what's it called, lineage is killed, and Nuri's like,
Keep going, Nuri's not doing this. Keep going.
is if the entirety of the royal lineage is killed, and he claims rights to the throne, or he convinces one of the royals to give him their claim on the throne, which is why Azon is very key in his plan, from what I've seen.
Is she done now or is she not?
She pauses and she goes, "Yes, I am finished. You may.
Okay.
You may do your gasps and whatnot. You destroyers of moods." She grabs her own fruit tart and just starts chewing on it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. As Sierra, I've become like super nauseous. Like this is really intense.
Oh no.
And my hands are shaking. So Nuri's hands are actually shaking as she's writing. Yeah, I'm like, wow. I'm feeling nauseous and freaked out.
One
Okay.
second.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, but okay, DM. At the Obsidian Night, Sierra. Well, she's not paying attention. I'll wait a second when she comes back.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait a second. It's fine. This is a good plan. Just kill everyone and then say you own the throne. That's a big brain play.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to be
Okay.
some sort of royal blood, though.
I'm sorry, I heard my name being called, and sorry, I was telling my husband that I made you nauseous.
I'm very nauseous right now. Whew, okay. My hands are tremoring. It's frustrating. I'm trying to write.
So much information.
Okay. So,
And if you guys are liking the story or liking the lore, give this video a like. Shameless plug.
Oh.
Okay, anyway, sorry,
Oh,
continue. Nuri, you had a question for
shameless
me.
plug. Sierra's pretty sure, but could Nuri put together who the Obsidian Knight is from certain objects?
I would leave that to a successful insight.
Okay.
Roll insight, Sierra. See if you find out.
Roll insight. It'll turn out fine. I'm sure it'll turn out fine.
I'm going to use my inspiration from the audience to.
Ooh, yes, because she got that last session.
Yeah, I'm going to use that to give myself advantage
Yeah.
on this insight roll.
All
Okay,
right.
24.
24. Dang, okay. With this insight, you remember the last time you spoke with your husband, and he had bits of not his own blood, but he had blood on him, and you knew it wasn't his. He also held a helmet in the other hand, as he was wearing his armor, his that seemed to be like plate mail, but a lot thinner and stronger in a way. And he had a very ornate helmet. And you remember him saying how he was the right hand man of the Heralder. And or to him, Nuvian. And you put the two and two together that your husband is the Obsidian Knight, aka the Heralder's right-hand man, who has killed many, many people in the fight for the Heralder.
Pin it on the corkboard.
gosh.
Pin it on the corkboard. Draw that connection to the witch, to the Obsidian Knight, to Nuri, because now she even has a connection to the Heralder almost by blood. This is pretty direct. So she's got a connection to the summer and winter courts, and then also basically he's like your boss-in-law or whatever. Your yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
We don't know they're brothers, just right hand man.
Yeah, that's why I say boss-in-law, because it's kind of like you're married to him, and so you inherit his boss by extension, you know? So it's like...
So I did rewatch the episode where Sierra was conversing with Esmond, and he did tell you that Nuvian, aka the Heralder, so the Heralder's name is Nuvian, that he told you that. He did tell you that he was his best friend.
Okay.
Shane, whoa.
Shane. Oh, yeah, no,
Yes.
yeah, I agree. Panic
Yes.
intensifies. Oh, it's fine. No, it's probably fine, guys. I wouldn't be too worried about it. This will never come up again. It's just like offhanded stuff. That Garbanar Shubashal though, like that totally, it's gonna come back to bite us. This is like a lot less relevant in my own personal.
Oxybird said, so Nuri's husband is just fine with his own son being in a coma because of the Heralder. Dang, maybe they shouldn't be super married anymore.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Okay, guys, I will say you have to go back and rewatch that conversation between Nuri and her husband Esmond. It was crazy. I can't remember the name of the episode. It was like something by fire or something like that. I think it had like fire.
Playing with fire.
Playing with fire. That's what it is. I just came here for the tea with a witch info broker theater kid. This is too much. Oh, Shane, we love you. That's awesome.
Sorry. Was this more than you bargained for? Oh,
it is very crazy. And next week we are doing a recap episode, so you can get caught up of everything and all the information in the story this far, and we have question and answer time as well. So get ready for that.
So guys, this is a nice breather.
But yes,
real quick.
So breathe. But yes, so if you guys would like to watch the conversation that Sierra or Nuri had with her husband Esmond, it is in the episode titled "Playing with Fire." So that's several episodes back. It was very crazy, very crazy. It's like in the middle of the session, but if you're looking for it, maybe we'll have to put some clips of that conversation up on our Instagram. But it is very good, very sweet. Very interesting conversation.
I'm really happy we rolled a nat 20 on that.
Most
persuasion
important
check
nat
back
20.
then. Guys, go back. You'll know. You'll know.
Yes, there was a nat 20 to sway his point of view.
Well, don't give it too big of a spoiler, man.
I'm
I'm
saying
just kidding.
sway his point of view. You don't know which side it is.
You don't know which points of view he's viewing.
No.
There's a lot of views that points can have.
Oh. Thank you, Lady Noir. Session 24 is playing with fire.
Thanks.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am horrified that my suspicion was correct. Okay. So
story.
she says all this. She's like, I'm done. Nuri's hands are like tremoring, and she's gonna just hide them under the table.
You do notice that the witch notices. She seems to be very perceptive.
Yeah, Nuri's not hiding it. She's shell-shocked a little bit. And then just goes, she's gonna take a fruit tart and eat it. Stuff it down. Right, well, that is extremely helpful. As I understand, I now owe you some detailed information about my heritage. Is that correct?
Heritage and husband, you said. It has
Did
to
I
be...
say husband? Did I say husband? I'm gonna look to Amaris and Dusty.
She says this does have to be of equal value.
Well, all right. My mother is indeed the dead princess of the Winter Court. You are correct there. So that is kind of big, important information of equal worth that kind of upsets the Heralder's plan if he goes route number 1.
It's not, doesn't bode very well for you, does it?
No, it doesn't. No,
I
no,
do
it
need
doesn't.
a little bit more information for this deal to be fulfilled, though.
High or low?
Hi.
Well, as a few weeks ago, not even a few weeks ago, a week ago maybe, the king... Wait, let me double check my notes.
Yeah.
Let me just double check I don't mess
checking
this
the
up.
notes of the of this.
Let me make sure I don't mess this up. Thank you, Lady Noir 88 for saying what session it was. That speeds up my process.
So you can go back to the right page in the notes.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, so you can also kind of figure that if you go to like secret tea shops like these, you can find more information brokers like Sasha. Okay.
I'm looking over what Azon said just to make sure, because this might just be Nuri speculation. I don't remember.
Okay. And just so people are on the same page, audience and players alike, I can let you know some details about the Winter Court. You do know that the king and queen are Queen Zadia and King Polith. And the princes, or the prince and princesses, were Anastriana and Azon and Aure. Aure is the last daughter. Yeah. And Nuri is the long-lost daughter of Anastriana.
Puts it pretty high on the chopping block. Just saying.
The chopping block?
That's not a good
Yeah.
way to put it, Craig.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to be the devil's advocate here and see from the perspective of the herald. You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes we
Also,
gotta think about how our
Shane, to
villains
respond to
are
that,
thinking.
yeah, Douse unfortunately isn't here. Dane is the individual who plays him. He is currently attending to family matters. So, wish the best.
So
for
he's
him.
at the temple,
Yes,
like a
Douse
good little
is-
boy,
Yeah, Douse
attending
is
it,
Douse. Yeah.
becoming
learning his
Douse, dang it.
cleric. His
Douse
cleric,
is at the temple
clerical
as
inspiration.
Yes.
Dane is trying to.
Well, Dane is technically
multi-class.
also at a temple. She's
Yeah,
just
Dane's
unconscious.
unconscious though. So
Okay,
the Dane,
okay.
Dane, our
Guys,
Dane.
okay.
That's not the Dane in the
I'm
game.
not wrong.
Dane.
Still.
Play. Okay. So many
He's
people
with
answer.
family.
Okay. Player Dane,
Ah,
who plays Douse, is currently at like a birthday celebration for someone.
Got it.
Douse,
Let's go.
the character, is at the temple studying so he can do his next level up in cleric. Dane, the NPC character, is at a temple in a coma. Yes.
nothing
Still
confusing at
unconscious.
all.
No,
We've never been confusing. I've never confused anyone.
never.
I've never confused. Okay, so Emily.
Yes. Oh, that's my name.
Sorry, DM.
No, you can call me Emily. It's
Sorry.
fine. My name's on the stream anyway, so. In the little panels on the other side.
So I'm not finding it specific. So in the conversation, I thought it was in that conversation. That didn't happen in that conversation. So it would have been with her conversation with her dead mom. She had mentioned that her dad, the king, was there and then vanished as if he was taken by like one of the people in comas from the side hill. Is that correct? Is that knowledge from what I understood of that conversation? Is the king in a coma? That's what Nuri has assumed this whole time, but is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But Sasha just told you that he's dead.
He's dead.
But you are correct in the conversation that you had with Anastriana on the hillside. Which we can also explain the hillside as well. It is a death mechanic that I've implemented in the game where when people are dying or dead, they go to a place called the hillside, which is basically between life and death, and they get to choose the side that they go to, depending on, if they're being healed outside, and there's a bunch of stuff. We can explain that more at the Q&A if you guys want. There's so many fun things about this world.
Okay, so Nuri, the names, you've got me all panicked and I'm messing up now. Okay, Nuri is then going to say to Sasha, well, that's very interesting because still about a week ago, it has not been that long since she died. I had it on good information that the king is actually in a coma, not dead.
Interesting. What good information or source does this come from?
From Anastriana herself. She saw him on I look into coma stuff. It's a lot of my research. Point is, there is a very specific thing that happens to people on the hillside who are in comas, and that very specific thing happened to the king.
Interesting. So you've been to the hillside. But
I have died, yes.
furthermore, the king is not dead. He's just simply in a coma. Well, that is quite the information. Yes, that satisfies the deal.
Wonderful. That was very fun, actually.
Yes, very fun. Hmm. If you ever wish of my services as an information broker, feel free to come and have a sip of tea. More than happy to join.
I'll
Also,
keep
if
that
you
in
are in
mind.
need of a good cup of tea to get a really good one, you can always come to any of these little tea places. They're very, very wonderful.
How do I find one if I want to go to another one? It's the first I've seen on this side.
Let me show you. And, oh, but are we done here? No more information you're seeking?
I'm gonna look at Amaris. Does she have any she wants?
Um, did she disconnect on accident? Hold on a second.
Yeah, I
can hear
hear
you.
her. I hear her in the Streamlabs.
Let me.
I hear her here in our call.
Okay. I'm going to double check and see what happened.
Ha ha ha.
Oh, ha ha ha. There we
Thanks
go.
for confirming, Dane. Dane hopped on. Hey, Dane, we love you. Don't worry, we didn't
I am
change your
with family,
character
yes.
to goats or anything. So you're
Oh,
fine. You haven't
I
died yet.
accidentally
Yeah,
put.
definitely not.
Oh, I'm sorry. I put you in the wrong camera.
Ah. Oh, now
There
Megan
we go.
is in the Douse
I
slot. That's
fixed
good.
her. I
I
put
like
her back.
that.
Sorry, guys. I don't know why it keeps wigging out on me. Technology just hates me, I guess. But
Oh well,
No,
we can't.
it wigged out on my end. Like
oh, okay,
just at
that's probably
some
why.
at just some random moment, Streamlabs just completely cut out
Pretty
Oh,
epic.
that's
and then
not
came
good.
back on. Yeah.
Okay,
So this one was on my end, not yours.
okay, good
Ah.
to know. Okay, well, Nuri turned to you and asked if there was anything else about any other information you would like to get from the information broker.
Amaris just shakes her head, but she looks at looks at Nuri, and like you can tell it, like she's trying to hide it in her in her expression, but in her eyes, like you can just tell she's saying, "Don't focus too much on this."
Nuri then turns to Dusty. Do you have anything you want to ask?
It's almost entirely unrelated, but I mean, if we're here, and he kind of like shrugs a little bit.
Nothing you would like to know, Dusty?
I mean, yes, of course. So I don't know how much you know about me. I'm not exactly as famous as these two seem to be. But I'm a druid. I have been for some time. But I am just. I could spend hours here asking you questions. I mean, it's beautiful here. It's everything I expected and more. Um, this is my first experience ever being in anything like the Feywilds. Um, but I. And he like cocks his head and he says, I don't think I can ask this in a single question. I have too many questions. That's my problem. I guess first things first. I'm curious how magic is transferred from like the Feywilds to a druid. I feel like there's a connection there, but I don't fully understand exactly how it works. It may seem as a basic question to you, but I do not fully understand.
That is a deep question. I fear it is not one I can so simply answer for you. Um, each druid, as you have given me a little bit about yourself, I'll give you a little bit of this information as I understand. Is that it is individual to each druid themselves, the connection that they make with the biome that they reside in, and the connection they make with nature. It connects them in a beautiful way. If, as you see it, she kind of points around at the beautiful room that you're in, just covered in vines and flowers and wooden panel walls and um, just the elegance of this beautifully carved tea table and the tea set with the leaves and the flowers woven in on the handles and the lids, and not even a speck of like metal to be found. Um, as she kind of gestures towards the room, she says, "This is a true connection with nature. This table was sung from the trees by ancient people, and well, you feel the magic within it all." And she holds out her hand to you, in a gesture that's like, hold my hand, kind of for a second.
He reaches out. He puts his hand in hers.
Okay, so you put your hand, and she guides your hand down to the teapot, and like kind of places your hand just against the side of this beautiful wooden pot, and you feel the warmth from the tea inside. But with your druidic powers and knowledge, and she said, as she guides you, she says, "Now you feel this teapot, and you feel the warmth of the tea, correct?"
Yes, I do.
Mhm. Now, I want you to think deeper. Think about the materials, the leaves, the vines, the wood. Feel it and feel the energy and the magic. She says, "What does it feel like? Describe it."
It's similar to the feeling of a beating heart. Um, that of someone who's alive. It's the same fabric that binds one to their body, their soul. It's that sort of a feeling.
Yes. And it is that understanding and that feeling that draws out the core of your druidic power. It is that beauty, that connection with nature. Whereas some human or Hebergon or whatever race can touch this and look at it and just see a dead wood and teapot that's merely crafted to be pretty. Whereas a druid can sense and feel the beating heart within. But even though this teapot has been carved from wood and shaped and sculpted into this beautiful thing, it still has life. It still is connected to the very fabric of nature, what it once was. This is all I will share with you for now.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
He just kind of like brings his hand back, and he like almost puts his hands down on his lap, and he he just kind of like, he's almost a little bit somber as he like puts his head down just a little bit.
Mhm. She
but-
notices this. And she says, "Can you tell me, in your own words, why you became a druid?"
He like tilts his head up a little bit, looks towards her at first, and then begins looking around the room. And he says, I suppose it was to fill a void. I felt like something was missing. Or that someone was missing. And it was almost an outlet. Nature and the desert, where I'm from. There was a connection there that was unique and special. I suppose it just kind of fell upon me. And when I noticed, I kept looking and I kept trying to understand.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. In exchange, she pours one cup of tea, refilling her glass, and then hands you the teapot. She says, "Keep it."
Are you sure? And he kind of like bows a little bit and he says, thank you very much. It means a lot to me.
You're welcome. Now, to answer your previous question, she looks towards back Nuri. In order to find one of these tea shops, you're going to have to go into an alley and you'll have to find a cobblestone brick. And inscribed on there will be the symbol of a tea leaf and a flower. All you have to do is knock 4 times, and the doorway will appear. And that's where you can find more info brokers. And she looks at you, Dusty, and she goes, and friends, newfound friends. Or kindred spirits, you could say.
Yes. Yeah. It's been good to talk with you.
Good. Well,
as she was saying, like, found friends and stuff, to Dusty, Sasha would see that for the first time, Nuri actually gives her a genuine smile and like one of appreciation for what she said to Dusty.
oh. Oh, now you're making the dungeon master blush.
Wow. Almost makes you forget about that whole Obsidian Night thing and the murder spree.
Yeah.
Right.
More
Yeah.
death and chaos. Okay. She kind of dusts off her outfit, her cloak, her moss-covered cloak. Stands up, and she says, "Wait here for a moment." She parts the hanging vines, heads out, comes back in with a box. And you notice her pack up the rest of the pastries, and then she passes them over to you, Nuri. So you can have the rest of the pastries to keep. She goes, "Next time you meet with an info broker, they might not be as nice as me, so don't be so hostile at the beginning."
She's gonna take the box, like Thank you, Sasha. I owe you an apology. I misjudged you. I'm sorry.
I appreciate the apology.
You're the first to ever pinpoint my condition, so I hope you can understand why I was a little hostile.
Understandable. I can. But I do hope that if you ever come by Basin Wind again, or if you need any more information, you do come by. Drop a little tip of the hat. Yes, I do
We'll
hope
do
that
so.
you do have the exchange of information still. Anyways,
What would you suggest, Sasha, if I were to continue traveling east? Wait, west? We're going west, right?
are you heading down to Lake Mount?
Yeah, that's west, right?
That's southeast.
Wait, southeast?
So look at where you are on the map. You're at Basin Wind.
Ah, south. Yes, okay. Thank you.
Lake Mount is over here. Remember the red shields are where your quest marker is.
Ah, thank you.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
No, you're good. So here, I can zoom out and I can show
south.
everyone the key. So just so people know, our key for this map is we've got the little simple dot. That's a city. Capitals are always going to be a yellow shield. Quest markers, so where the party is heading, is always going to be in a red shield. Toadstool rings, which we haven't talked much about those.
I'm
But
sure
those are
we'll
always
get
going
there
to be marked by a ring.
sometime.
Yeah, we'll get there. And then where the players are always going to be this red triangle. And monasteries, where Douse comes from, is always going to be in this little like compass looking spot. And I have a marker for this symbol, but that we have not reached yet in the campaign, so that will be labeled when we reach locations like that. Plus, the key will grow as new and other things are discovered. So currently, our players are in Basin Wind in the Akosha Kingdom. They are heading down to the Versailles Dynasty to a city called Lake Mount to find the alchemist, where they hope to learn the final half of the puzzle to wake people up from their comas that people have been falling into. Okay. So
So,
yes, you're heading
south.
southeast.
What would you suggest to if I'm going south to avoid being discovered? My condition being discovered by other Winter Court if they happen to be down there?
I will admit, us witches do have a knack for discovering people of various courts. It's a little thing that we've been able to grow accustomed to here in our little coven. But Nuri's like, coven? They're just my sisters. So it's not necessarily as discoverable. Depends on how perceptive the person is. Though, maybe you could find some big hat. Maybe. There's a lot of shops here in town and clothing shops. Maybe I would also. She kind of looks at your outfit, which is the desert outfit, actually. She says, I would maybe not look so drab, but not drab enough to. You want to blend in a bit, is what I'm trying to say. You don't really blend in with all this brown.
What color do you suggest then?
Maybe if you're heading into Winter Court territory, I suggest if you're not wanting to be discovered as a summer or a winter elf, maybe wear some greens, some, let's see, some whites maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to think of not blue, not orange. You want to blend in a bit more and not give yourself away as any particular cause. The brown here, honey, is not doing you any favors, and that's a bit of advice that I'll give you for free. So,
Oh, psychological damage.
Jake,
Wow.
what do you for
Vicious
psychic damage?
mockery.
She was a
Ugh.
bard. She was a bard.
Yeah. No. With that, are you guys going to be heading out, or do you still want to talk to Sasha?
Nuri's ready to leave her.
Yeah.
She
Yeah, Amaris
brushes.
is ready to leave.
Okay. She brushes aside the vines, and you guys are able to walk out into the tea parlor, where you notice that several of these, like, satyrs and elves and whatnot, are still chatting amongst themselves. You notice a very, like, very visibly spring court elf is sitting at one of the tables, enjoying a nice cup of tea as she's reading what looks to be a book. Um, she's sipping on one of these. Lots of flowers have been braided into her hair. She's got like a side braid. Um, just sipping on it. Very light pink, airy tunic. Um, just kind of sipping away. A couple satyrs. They seem to be getting more rowdy the more like tea that they drink. Pixies are kind of running around. You see the Eladrin still serving more drinks and more pastries to people. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The people that you see in this main area.
Cool. As we leave the Bay tea place.
Okay.
Shane, that was hilarious.
Nuri,
Yes.
inclusively owned by Sasha, is ready to leave the conversation. Yes.
Yeah, this is 100% accurate. Oh my gosh. Once we leave, so like little note, Nuri will stop at a store and buy some green and white clothing. I'll draw something up later, but just she'll get that.
Mm-hmm.
Her confidence a little hurt. Her ego.
Okay.
But I want to talk to Mars and Dusty as they're walking or shopping, whatever they're doing.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys can just whatever you guys want to purchase, just send me a list of it in our private chat over here, and I will give you the price of it. That way we don't have to spend the session shopping.
I like that.
Yes. So you guys, I will say you guys can head over to where you'll stay the night as it is getting evening. It's a local inn that doubles as a tavern at the bottom as well. It is going to be 2 silver piece per person per night. So you can stay there and you can get 2 rooms, one for the girls and one for the boys.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Douse comes back eventually, but he's really sleepy, so he's gonna go to sleep.
Okay.
He's been meditating hard all day.
And studying
It's
and
tough
taking
work.
quizzes, whatever
Tough
clerics do.
Yeah, it reminds him of his home back in Nero, the water temple. Anyways, so you guys
Cool.
you can have this conversation in your rooms back at the inn together. If you guys would like to have the conversation all together, you guys can go. Dusty can go meet you in your room.
Sounds good. Does that work for Amaris and Dusty?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So once they gather in the room, Nuri is going to start off by, well, that was a wild experience. Have never made a deal with a witch before. That's new for me. Exciting. Also, kind of horrible news on that front. What did you all think about it?
I'm actually more concerned about how you're feeling about this.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty big secrets to divulge to someone we just met. I don't know how I would. I don't know if I would have reacted so elegantly. Is everything okay? I mean, it was a lot. He seemed pretty shook throughout the conversation.
To be honest, I definitely would have thrown up once we left, except I ate a lot of fruit tarts and I can't give those up. So that was a lot. But just gonna look at Amaris. High or low, Amaris?
Low.
I would have to say that I know who the Obsidian Knight is. Yeah.
Oh, wasn't that the right hand, the close servant guy for the heralder? I just want to make sure I've got my facts correct.
Darn it, Dusty.
Amaris. So Amaris, just like she hears that, she sees Nuri's face and Nuri's reaction, and it's just like, oh, oh, oh,
Oh.
So Amaris just turns to Dusty and is just like, well, it seems that and she turns to Nuri, like, just to get like a confirmation, just like, is this okay to share?
Nuri nods.
Amaris turns back to Dusty. You remember Esmond, right? You probably not have met him in person,
Yeah,
but like
vaguely. I
it's been mentioned, right?
that's your husband, correct, Nuri?
Yep, that's my husband.
Okay.
Well, there could be a possibility that he kind of might sort of be like, just a hypothesis here. He could be the Obsidian Knight.
Oh. Yeah, let's just hope that's not actually how that works. I mean, anything's possible, right? And he's like looking kind of back and forth towards the two of you. He's just like, right, because anything. I mean, this is a crazy world. I mean, these are a lot of very big names you have relations to, Nuri. That's just quite a few. So he just like, you see him like count on his fingers, and he's like, "Yep, no, that's quite a few."
It's not so hypothetical. Oh my gosh.
Hypothetical.
Yes, hypothetical. It's not so hypothetical as it is actually a fact that he is the Obsidian Knight.
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly.
I mean, you know him
definitely.
better than I do. I've never met the guy, so I wouldn't really know. But
She actually like turns to a little confused, like not confused, but like worried, and kind of like looks between the both of you, and then goes, "But Sasha actually said he's been missing for a few days.
yeah.
It's only been maybe a week since I talked to him. What if the Heralder found out?"
Oh no, nope, probably not. I mean, but yeah, probably. Let's just try to stay hopeful here, shall we? I mean, this is not confirmed. He could have just ran away. He could have pushed back. Maybe he pretended to get caught. Oh no! And then oh no, we have to go send people to find him. Oh my goodness! My second in command. I'm just spitballing here, but we probably should not suspect the worst. We have enough on our shoulders. We have enough on our plate. It's just a hypothesis. Is it possible? Yes. It is what I presented possible? Yes. I mean, there's a positive way of looking at this and a negative way of looking at this. And just if it does end up either way, I mean, maybe he's pulled away somehow for some reason, right? I mean, if he's second in command of the Heralder, I mean, Heralder's a pretty bad guy, I'm pretty sure, from what I've heard. And so if he's like pulling away from that, maybe he is a good guy after all. Again, just spitballing here, but yeah. So and he just kind of like tilts his head a little bit, nods slightly, and he's like, "Yeah."
So
Yeah.
Melody Wolf said, "Give Dusty inspiration for that whole let's not panic scene right now." So Dusty, you get inspiration
Oh,
from the
thanks.
players.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Wow. I feel honored.
Yeah. Okay, you guys can continue.
Okay. It's definitely possible that all of those things you said are true. He's probably fine. He's probably fine. Yeah. I think I'm just gonna go call him. She's gonna just step like 5 feet away and she's gonna cast sending.
Oh, yeah, she can do that. Probably should contact Azon sometime too. That'd be good. Yeah. And he just kind of like waves his
We
hand
contact
towards Nuri.
Azon.
Wait, who has the speaking stone to Azon?
You do.
I think
I do?
you do. Yeah, I think because you gave it to
Marilla
Marilla,
gave
and
it
then
to
Marilla
you.
gave it back when she left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darn. Should have given it to Amaris. Her and
Nope.
Azon don't get along.
Note for the audience, they actually met Azon Windrail, and he ended up giving them a speaking stone to communicate with him.
Okay. Nuri's going, because she only like stepped 5 feet away, you guys will hear everything she says to him. By the way.
Mhm.
Okay, sending. We're gonna do it. Hopefully. Okay. Okay. 25 words. Hi, Esmond. Heard you're missing. You okay? Little worried. Also, why are you the Obsidian Knight? She's like, there's a little sigh. I'll count that as one because she just has like a very audible sigh of like calm herself down. Which leaves her with 7 words left. Halfway to bringing Ami back. Respond?
There is a pause.
Be really unfortunate. Be really unfortunate if there was no response. You know, we don't need to
Don't say
burn
this!
down a hotel. We burnt down a town already. We don't need to do the hotel.
I don't have to do a second town. Be generous, DM, please. Just kidding.
You hear a grunt in your mind, like, ugh. And then you hear, fruit tart. And then it cuts off.
Wow.
High or low, Amaris?
That's one of her favorite foods. Wow, he really is a good husband. He remembers her favorite
Hi.
foods.
In
Sure.
the conversation that he had with Nuri, that if you guys go back to episode 24, or right, 24 and watch that, then it's the one labeled playing with fire. They have a code word where if they can't get to the phone right then, it's fruit tarts. We'll get back to you. All right, Nuri.
Nuri kind of just sinks to the floor and just has like a stunned, like, oh my gosh, this isn't good look on her face.
Is everything okay?
He sounded like he was getting hit.
Is that all you heard?
And fruit tart.
For charge?
It means he can't talk right now.
Okay, something is definitely up.
Yeah.
He's probably on assignment right now.
Yeah.
Because if he gave you that signal of, if I remember this correctly, he can't talk right now, but he can get back to you later. Was that it?
Wasn't necessarily can't get back, but fruit tart just can't talk right now. And yeah, call when we can.
Okay, so there is a possibility that just right now he cannot talk, but he can get back to you. If he had no way of getting back to you, then I think he probably would have let you know.
Right. Yes, you're right. Yes, of course. You're right. He'll go back. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Anyone else? Any of you want me to call?
We probably should contact Azon. I mean, he is being a little bit He's in danger at the moment.
Just gonna take
Perhaps-
out the sending stone and pass it to Amaris. Maybe you should talk to him. We didn't end on the best of terms, as you recall.
Yes, I very much did recall.
Also, Roxy Bird did say to give advantage to Dusty on persuasion. So your next roll, Dusty, you're gonna get persuasion. She's using the inspiration that she got.
Yippee! I will abuse this.
Okay, Amaris, you have the sending stone.
Azon, this is Amaris. We need to talk to you. We found out some stuff that we need to let you know.
Wait 1 second. I got. Give me 1 second. You were in the thing.
Nice. Nice.
Wait, is sending stone like sending, like you have 25 words, or can it just go back and forth?
You can go
Like a
back and forth.
phone.
It's like a cell phone.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually,
Impressive.
Give me a sec.
in the chat, Roxy actually calls them Rocky Talkies.
Rocky
Talkies.
Talkies.
Oh,
Yes, I love that.
nice.
Yeah,
That's
so you're
good.
using your Rocky Talkies. Um, and after about 2 minutes, you hear a. Sorry about that. I wasn't really in the greatest position.
Understandable. We need
Yeah,
to
it's
talk
like
to you.
in the middle
Probably
of the
best
tavern.
face to face.
Well, I'm currently in Lake Mount. Or, well, almost to Lake Mount. Well, no, sorry. In Lake Mount. My brain. It's been a long travel.
Mm-hmm. Well, we found out a bit of stuff that we should probably let you know about the Heralder.
Oh. Him. What is it?
Yes. If I understand correctly, he is going after the Winter Court throne, correct?
Correct.
Right. He is trying to get to the Winter Court throne so that he can then get to the United throne.
That's what I figured. It hasn't been easy to continuously evade him. He's been very adamant on a lot of things.
Yes. But something else that we learned, and I'm just telling you this for your safety. He does have another option for how to get there, and it is not very good on your part. If you continue to evade him, there is a chance he is going to come after you. And not just in a I want to bargain kind of way.
What kind of way are you thinking? Because I'm not really sure I understand what you mean. That could mean a lot of things.
Essentially, in order to get to the throne, he has one of two ways. One of which he has been trying to get to, which is through you. If you give him your position to the throne, he can
Yes,
then
yes,
get to the United Throne from there.
I know this.
The other option is if there is no one else in line for the throne. Essentially, he will come for you and end you.
There's like silence, really awkward silence for like a full 30 seconds. And then he speaks up and he says, "Oh, well, thank you for telling me. That's not too.
Greg, is that you Wait, who's that tapping on the board?
Sorry, that's probably me.
Okay, it's coming through quite a loud and blocking out Emily.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, it's okay. Because, okay. Well. Okay. Yeah. I'll be careful. Are you guys headed here to Lake Mount as well? Still.
Yes, we are on our way there. We made a little pit stop in a town that is not too far away, but we are on our way to Lake Mount.
Okay. Well, be cautious. Because from what I've seen and heard, there are some nasty pits along the way. Dark globs of this black, dusty substance. I'd like to.
We have heard about those.
Yes, but I've been conducting some research on them as I've been trying to find the alchemist here with no avail. But I have been conducting some experiments on these, and I've been calling them the Rend. R-E-N-D, for those who are wanting the spelling. The Rends. So, when Nuri has explored them herself, I'd like to go over notes with each other. I know she kind of sucks right now, but she's smart. And so is Dusty. I'd also like to talk to him about it.
You're gonna have a speakerphone right now.
Yes. I'm on speakerphone.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You put me
I'm
on
kidding.
speaker, and I just is Nuri in the room?
Okay, no, I'm kidding.
Nuri,
I was kidding with that comment.
Nuri, what the fish?
In-game teasing, in-game bullying.
Is this actually happening?
Pass over the phone. Amaris, pass over the phone. Or the Rocky.
Wait, what did he say? He said something about over the phone with the walkie-talkie?
Pass over the stone, the sending stone. The Rocky-talkie.
Good.
Only on the condition that you be nice to her. She's been going through a lot, okay?
Okay.
I'm watching you. And then she hands the rock over to Nuri.
Is Nuri gonna say anything?
So the rock gets passed over, and wow. Okay. So hi, Azon.
What the freak?
What the freak? What?
Yeah, it's the burning of the town. You're crazy. That's all it is.
We've been over this. Why are you bringing this up again? You were literally there.
Because I can. I'm still not over it. I liked that town. And you burned a corner of it down. So, yes, I want to tell you I'm very disappointed in you. Okay, you could pass the rock over again.
High or low, Emily?
Be nice, please. Him. You remember when you sucked? Remember how bad you are?
Like you suck.
High or low, Emily?
I said hi.
High.
Yeah, this is becoming a roast. Yeah.
For those
what?
who
Just a question: does he, the end of that, he discovered the relationship between you and him, right?
yeah, he knows what the relationship
Okay,
is.
I just wanted to remember.
Yes, and he called me a child and all these other things. We did not end on good terms. For Amaris and Dusty, they could see like rage just fills her eyes, and like she's like, and then she's. Thank you for the feedback, Azon.
You're welcome.
I've half of the way to bring people back from a coma, but I'm not going to share it. And then she passes it to Amaris.
The rock is screaming
Give
as
it back
she
to Nuri.
holds
Give
it
it back to
out.
Nuri right now. Give it back to Nuri. Give it back to Nuri. Nuri, I need to talk to you right now. You need to tell me right now. I need to know. I need to know. I need to know.
Amaris has the rock. She give it back.
You're playing hot potato with a rock. Amaris, I'm telling you right now. I need to speak to Nuri. She needs to tell me that. And you see that, like, his tone drops. He seems like less like kind of like. At first, when he was like roasting you, it was more of like, what the heck, but also at the same time a little bit like lighthearted, just a smidge, but not really. But then this time he seems dead serious as he goes, Mars, please give the phone or give the talkie, give the rock back to Nuri, please.
Amaris just like turns to look at Nuri. And then she's just gonna be like, okay, in all honesty, you did deserve that.
Okay, I don't care. Give me the Nuri.
Again, she just looks over at Nuri. This should be shared with as much people as possible, Nuri. You did tell me that.
Oh, it does sound familiar.
Tosses the rock back.
Grab a pen and paper, or quill and paper.
You just hear him just be like, and you know, he grabs the salt and he's like, "Okay, ready."
And she just recites to him everything of the spell.
Okay, and you like explain it to him and everything.
Well, she recites the entire spell, like exactly what it needs and all that stuff. And then she would go into explaining where the souls are going and what's happening to the souls.
And so at the end of that, he would be like, "Oh gosh. So this is only half of the solution."
Yes. We still need the alchemist for the second half. If the rumors are true, which we dug into more in the town, you heard the original rumors. If that is true, she is the only one that has managed to reconnect a soul to a body.
Okay. I'm gonna keep looking for her here. So, yes. I need this. Nuri, thank you. You don't know how much this means to me.
Is it because the king is still in a coma?
He falls silent. And then, yes. Everyone
Well, the Heralder
thinks
is kind
he's
of
dead.
terrible. Oh, yeah, I've heard that rumor.
Yes, but he's not.
Real quick, Azon, we don't get along anyways, but just to be clear, little pact. Don't give up the throne. And don't do it if my life is threatened or anything like that.
Okay. I won't.
And I'll do the same. I mean, I'm not in a position for that, but if it comes down to it, same deal.
All right. Sounds good. I'm not gonna lie, I've had all this time to think about it, and I still can't believe that you're Anastriana's daughter. She was my favorite sister.
To Destiny Nuri, it looks like she's holding back some words. And instead responds to Azon with, and I know that she cares for you a lot.
You
So whenever
didn't
your
even...
time comes, whenever that is, she'll be waiting for you at the hillside.
He seems silent for quite a few moments. Contemplative. And he says, all right. Well, I know we aren't on good terms, Nuri. But I do hope that maybe one day we could be on good terms. But nevertheless, I'm going to look for the alchemist in the meantime and see about bringing back my father, as much as I hate the idea. He's needed.
I've also heard that the queen's run off. Is that true?
Yes. The
Okay.
Heralder marched an attack on the Winter Court. And
How long ago?
just, how long was it? It happened, how many days ago? It was it's before you set the town on fire, but it was one of the reasons why I was getting very panicked. Or maybe it was during that time. It was either right before or during. It was kind of a crazy moment, but
Wow, that's pretty epic.
and well, the only reason that my mother escaped alive is because the man that was trying to kill her left so suddenly.
Let's go. +1. That's a W, everybody. Hey, all I'm saying is, if Nuri had not been so mad to burn down a town, this never, like, I'm just saying this is a big W. I mean, that's like the biggest W I think we've had as a party. It's a big W, you guys.
The fact that
Not
by
too
her
bad.
calling Esmond back to her, made him not kill a queen.
Yeah, you know.
You know, burned a quarter of a town down. No one died and saved the Queen of the Winter Court. You know, I think that fire was actually a bonus. Okay,
bonus.
They all say I'm crazy, but I was just thinking the long game. That's what was happening.
Bonus.
Okay. Anyways,
Okay.
he says, but either way, I need to bring back my father so that there can be some balance restored in the Winter Court. It's in disarray, and not gonna lie, I don't want to be king, and so I need him back. So the faster we get the alchemist, the faster we can restore balance, and the heralder can't get the throne.
Just to confirm some suspicion. I've just been hearing a lot about the Obsidian Knight lately. Was that the one that tried to kill the queen?
Maybe, probably. I just heard it from my mother. I spoke with her once before she went into hiding.
Well, I'm sorry about that. That's very stressful. Yes. Well, we'll catch up. Let us know if you need anything. We're working our way down there.
Okay, well, understood. Make it down here quick, please, for the sake of the Winter Court.
Are there any fey rings around there?
Yes, there are.
Would you mind telling me a location of one? We could speed up our process greatly.
Yes. I have to find it on my map here real quick.
Why am I becoming British again? You're making me stressed.
I'm making you stressed?
You devolved into a British accent under stress.
It's a coping mechanism.
It's the coping
when you get
mechanism
so stressed that you turn British.
That's pretty good.
They just have confidence, okay?
Yeah.
It's just a confident sound. I like it.
Alrighty. I have put on the map where the next toadstool ring is.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that would cut down our travel time immensely.
Yeah, no, to Shane on the YouTube chat, yeah, that session 24 will definitely help just a little bit with the conversation there. And then, I mean, the context we have now, you'll also want to watch the one where Nuri dies. Yeah,
but we're also going to have a recap session next week. Stream live.
Yeah, and you can ask questions. After.
Yeah, bring your cork boards. We'll share notes. How about that? Sound good? Good.
So, I just put the other toadstool ring on the map, and for those of you who are watching the show, for the audience, toadstool rings are something within the Fey Wilds that is a transportation, kind of like a fast travel sort of form. So they can make it to places faster. And you can ask more questions about that next week. Is there anything else you wanted to ask Azon before we go?
No, Amaris, Dusty.
Nah.
Nope.
Bless you.
No, Nuri's good.
Alrighty. He said
That
it's
was my roommate.
Travel safe.
Will do. Nuri's gonna just, however that works, to end the rock call.
Yeah. Well, you just stop talking, kind of a thing.
Ding.
So you hang up, basically, and you um, and as you turn back to the party, you hear in your mind ascending. And you hear Esmond's voice,
And
your
And?
husband.
yep,
And-
no, we know that. We've
Yeah.
been over that. Yep. mhm. Yep,
As
mhm.
you hear him speak to you, and he says, "Sorry, it took me a minute. I have to get my number. Bad news. And I can't explain better. It's all a mess." He seems to be panting really hard. You'll be happy to know Ami is safe. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
What? No
Um,
way. No, you can't. Oh my.
Hey,
No.
hey guys, don't you sometimes
Oh
don't you sometimes wish we had like an extra hour or something? Wouldn't that be hype? Wouldn't that
Yeah.
be sick, you guys? Hey, recap session next week, so it's gonna be 2 weeks before we find out the answer to that.
yes. Just so you guys know, Ami is Nuri's son. So,
Yep, context.
who's in a
context,
coma.
context.
And
Yeah.
her husband just responded that Ami is safe when he should be safe in the temple that
In
Nuri
the
has left him
temple?
at, under the
Oh my
care of her
gosh.
friend Quinn Tadal.
I mean,
Who
there's a
did
lot
leave
of
him?
there's a
She
lot
did
of
leave him.
places. Yeah, what's wrong with Quinn? Like,
Come
what the
on,
heck,
Quinn. Leave
Also,
the town.
is it better to be in Quinn's possession or well, I think about it like this, because he's like he'll protect he'd pretty much kill anyone who tries to get, except for maybe the Heralder. My point is it's probably fine.
The other dark elf.
So, on that note, we will have Nori's response to that next week, or not next week, at our following week when we have our D&D session of the Harbingers campaign, Restart Again. Not restart, but start up again. So next week we will be having our Q&A recap episode. We're going to kick it off with a recap of sessions 24 through, let me just make sure, sessions 25 through 37, which is this one. We're going to try and keep that as short as we can. There's still a lot of information to unpack because it's been a while since we've done a recap episode. But we will also have a live Q&A afterwards. So log on again to our YouTube or Twitch at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time next week on Friday. So we'll be able to answer all of your questions, catch you up. You'll be able to interact with all of the players. Unfortunately, Sierra will not be able to attend that event. But we are super excited. We love you guys so much. And we are so grateful for all of you who've been commenting in the chat. We will figure out the problem with the chat on the stream here. I don't know why it
see.
glitched out today. But we love you guys so much. Give her husband inspiration for that sending.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. Wait, before we close
I
off,
can't even
before we close off,
with that, but
yeah, before we close off, Shane asked for me to explain my whiteboard.
yeah.
And as I'm so happy to have that be the final thing. It is a collection of dice rolls. You see, this is every natural 20 we had this session. every natural one we had this session. And then on this side is every time a high or a low has been called in their subsequent high or lowiness.
Yeah, so
so-
an explanation on that system, it's actually a homebrew system that Sierra and I concocted for decision making. If you have
Yep.
two ways that something could go, you can call high or low and to another player, and they will say either high or low. And if you roll high, it's generally the more favorable outcome in their favor or for that person. So that's kind of how we rule high or lows. Um, and so that's why we've been counting them because we generally have a lot of them in a session. So
To clarify, the high or low, the high in their favor thing, it's if they called high and you roll high, then the decision goes in that player's favor.
Yeah.
If it's low, it goes with the worst option for that player.
Yep. Like
but
burning
say
down
if
a
that
town,
player
for
picked
example.
low, yeah, like burning a town down. But if that player picked low and they roll and the person rolls low, then it would be in their favor, and the other option would be the worst option.
Yep.
So it's just a fun little mechanic that we like to use. So if you loved the Harbingers campaign, if you were super intrigued by the story that's going on, tune in next week for our recap sessions and for our Q&A. And be prepared to ask questions. You can ask questions about anything about the campaign, the story, the characters, us as players, and the Dungeon Master, whatever, about Rosemary PG Studios. Also, and whatever questions you guys have. And we're more than happy to chat with you guys. We love you guys. We wouldn't be here without you. Thank you so much for joining us. Players, can we send them off with a little bit of love?
Y'all are amazing.
Bye.